Welcome to the Vault Excel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Ooh, mercy. What a show. I'm going to try to zoom through the information by Seth Rogers and Tony Mathis. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $sign the Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Here we go. Mr. Pascal asked Seth and Mr. Tony how they were doing. Asked Seth how he was doing. He said, just another day, no answers. Okay. I got so many notes, I can't read all this stuff. This is just too much to read. Okay. Basically, he lets us know that he asked Tony to get involved to help take the weight off his shoulder. Chloe stepped down after Tony came aboard. She was one of the PIs. He asked Tony, did he have anything to do with her stepping down? He basically said, let Seth answer that question because it wouldn't be credible if it came from me. So Seth said 100% guilty, whatever that means. He asked about the relationship between the two, he and Miss Chloe. Did y'all leave on good terms? Everything okay? He said, I thought we did. Only time will tell. He said it was too many Indians. Chiefs in the kitchen. Well, I guess you only have one chief now. I guess. I don't know. Depending on who you want to consider the chief. He also said about things learned from having all these people involved in the case. His eyes are open. His eyes are now open. So what does that mean exactly, Seth Rogers? What are your eyes open to? Because once again, you're leaving things open-ended. I want to try to be very dignified in this because, one, I don't have a lost child, missing child. So I don't want it to seem cruel in my commentary. But the one thing I always say, about true crime is that I don't like open-ended conversations. I don't like open-ended answers. Either you're going to answer the question or you're not. He seemed very jiggy to me in this commentary with this YouTuber. Seemed like he had a very ripe attitude. And one could say, well, he's going through a lot. He's tired. He's fed up with everything going on. But like I've always said, you have to also own your part that you play. Because in the end, people are going to say, well, you don't have to have an attitude. Okay, your son's missing. We get it. But some of the comments were snide, I found. Mr. Pascal asked certain questions. Just snide. Entitled to your interpretation. Basically, he was saying Tony did what he wanted him to do. If he asked him to do something, he would do it. He also would get his permission before doing certain things. He also talked about the phone call that got leaked out. People acting childish. What does that mean exactly? Didn't elaborate. Who leaked the phone call? Because allegedly they had the phone call 8 to 9 days before it was released to the public. So who released it? And Mr. Pascal, that was your opportunity to ask him. Well, who leaked that phone call? You didn't ask. So Seth, who leaked it? Tony? Who leaked the phone call? I'm curious. I figured they leaked it because one of the women leaked it because they wanted people to know the real Christopher Proudfoot. That's what I was thinking. The goal is about Sebastian. The goal is Sebastian. Basically, he was saying, with these PIs he had, because one had stepped down, things just weren't going the way he had anticipated. There was some bickering about Tony, what he was doing, not doing, or whatever. He also said he sent out an engagement to the group 3 weeks before he even met with Mr. Tony Mathis. Very interesting. So obviously they weren't meeting his needs. You also have to remember that one lady said she stepped away from the situation once that photograph came out of the alleged Sebastian Rogers, saying, well, I figured the FBI would be involved now. He wouldn't need my services. I don't really know what was going on with these people. I don't think everybody's telling the whole truth because nobody's telling us anything verbatim. So you're just really guessing. I could have sworn he said he asked her to step down. So I kept rewinding it at least 4 or 5 times. So did you ask her? Because that part was kind of muffled on my end. Very interesting. But they still talk to her. This one lady, one of the PIs, they still talk to her. I get them mixed up because I don't really know what the hell's going on. I'm a little sluggish right now talking because one, I don't like reading notes. I don't like reading my own handwriting. I'm like straight from the hip. And I wasn't going to be able to try to remember everything that was said during that live stream verbatim. I just don't have that type of intellect at 53 to try to remember a fucking 2-hour live stream of what everybody said. Because somebody's going to come in and start arguing about what I left out. But they still communicate with her. I believe that's Heather. I'll stand corrected if she's not the one. It's one of them, Heather or Chloe. I think Heather's the one he wanted to step down. He said that the answers he was getting were not concurrent with his goals. Still not elaborating. One of them clarified it as her investigation, and he said it's mine. Wow. Territorial, are we not, Seth? Okay. She didn't share all the information with them. Like what? You didn't elaborate that. Didn't appreciate it. Wouldn't mention any leads. Wouldn't check up on leads. He had to end up doing these things for himself. He said you need to play your part. Pascal asked about any other PIs hired. Seth decided not to tell. But what's interesting, Mr. Tony was tapping his left shoulder, basically signaling for him to shut up. Queen's good at reading some things. Oh, wow. Seth was wanting Tony to represent all of them. He and the Proudfoots wanted them all to be on the same page. And during that leak audio, he says he heard it. Mr. Proudfoot dropped at least 71 F-bombs in the phone call. He said, from what he learned from this call, he said he showed me he is not on my path. He also said people are saying that he's starting drama. Seth, whatever that's supposed to be. Okay. He didn't like the fact that he called into a show making fun of an autistic child pretending to be somebody else. Billy Bob Thornton, some type of nonsense. This was, I believe, coming from Mr. Tony. Don't like the way he talks to people. He's not a good guy, says Mr. Tony. He's speaking of Mr. Proudfoot. Well, I think we've gathered that already. As I said, Mr. Pascal, why didn't you ask who leaked the phone call and why? They go on to talk about Nancy Grace, that they had an agreement. Tony said he had an agreement with her producer, Holden, to make sure not to make the Proudfoots look bad in any way. And that person, whoever they were speaking to, I guess it was the polygrapher, mentioned about what he had asked Seth about drugging of the child. Well, what people, I guess, didn't know is that after the polygrapher asked Seth 3 questions of his theories of what he thinks could have happened to the child. And he said that was the only one question that he asked was about the drugging, and naturally it got into the podcast and then it got removed, but yet it had already hit the airwaves and people started talking about it. So he's talked to Nancy. Nancy didn't know what was going on. The holding guy said he sent a email because Seth had fell off during the podcast. Nancy didn't know why. Oh my God. Long story short, she didn't want to put any more stress on Seth, and she apologized for the discrepancy. So what I have to ask is, Nancy, what is the truth? Because you're not going to tell us the truth now, are you? What really happened with that podcast and that commentary? Did Nancy deliberately have that in the podcast? You're entitled to your opinion. What did he say? She jumped Holden's ASS. Okay. And she's invited him to come back on to the show. But as Tony said, she did what she did. So I think maybe he's in his feelings still probably about that incident. Once again, about those theories of the drugging. The polygrapher asked him 3 questions after the polygraph was done. And he said, well, I thought he was going to try to help me, give me some information, try to get some advice from him. He said, it's a horrible feeling. Like me or hate me. Comments about Miss Chloe being the same one in the group. Some people believe that. I didn't really keep up with much of that nonsense. He says people just don't know what he was going through. He was the only one on the ground searching for a week. First week, the boy missing. So people don't know what he was doing when they make comments about who was doing what behind the scenes, such as Chloe, Heather, whomever. He was there alone by himself, searching for his child. So I'm sure that would be a lonely feeling. Your child has a mother, a stepfather, other relatives, and you're the only one taking time out from your job to search. That would be a horrendous situation. So I don't know what that's like. And I don't want to ever find out. He says police don't want us searching using volunteers because, you know, a parent could get hurt. One person ended up getting some type of fever, spider mountain fever, Rocky Mountain fever from a tick. And I've heard that before. I think with Summer Wells. Because the terrain is so steep, it's dangerous to have people out in summer months searching for people with no direction because you can't get lost in the wilderness. That makes a lot of sense. He talks about moving. He wants to move, but he can't afford it. Rent's going up $500. And moving's not good for an autistic child, his child. The child is comfortable. Child feels safe, comfortable. Will his child come home? I don't know. They talk about restarting, redoing everything with this case. fresh start, new people, new ideas, new ways, everybody on an even kill. Can it be done? I hope so, for his sake. The one thing I say about this is that everybody has their own way of thinking and doing things. So what I want, you don't want. So that's why you have to have an understanding. So obviously he feels like he has an understanding with Mr. Mathis. He tells him what he wants, how he wants things done, and he says, he complies. Of course, Mr. Mathis let us know, I do try to keep him calm. Because I guess he realized he can get crunk, as we have heard about him being difficult. Well, the flip side is, yes, he has a missing child, so I guess he would get difficult at some point. He says, I don't know if I'm making the right decisions. Well, some people probably agree with that, Mr. Rogers. Tony says, I will defend Seth and Randy Harris. I work in the oil field. I work 8 hours. I have to be able to use my phone for work, accessible to my phone. So he was basically replying to somebody who's in the chat saying all he's doing is sitting up there on his phone. So he's saying I have to be on my phone for work. Also working for Seth and other people, other things he's ventured into. Wow. People pay attention to everything, do they not? Seth goes on about some YouTuber, female, talking ill of him. And all she's doing is pushing her glasses up, trying to get memberships for her channel. He says, what you need to do is get out your fucking chair and come help search for his son. You got something to say. Well, now. Because you're right, Seth Rogers. It's easy to judge. We're not in your predicament. We're not in your predicament. So therefore, we may not be able to understand. Not that we don't care. But it is easy to judge sitting behind a computer and a phone. You are so very right about that. What I found interesting is when Tony asked Mr. Pascal if he's in this for the right reasons. That's a very weird question. Why are you asking the host that? Please. I would assume if he didn't trust you, he wouldn't have you on his show. Unless he's just doing it for the likes and views. But Pascal replied, you're 110% into it, whole body into it. Seth lets him know he appreciates his work, helping him. Somebody in the chat was saying something about T-Rev, don't know what it was. And he lets you know he's not talking about T-Rev, that's my brother. Woo! White boy power, shut your mouth. Hey, I ain't no hater. You like who you want to like, that's your business. I don't have a problem with T-Rev. I don't even know what the person said, so I don't know. But there's always people coming in the chat. And some people making comments, putting in memberships, or donations rather, super chats, super stickers, after he took off the membership mode. Because I know I tried looking at it last night, and I couldn't pull it up, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I'm going to jump the broom a little bit. Tony said he don't have a problem with anybody making money off their videos. Well, that's the whole point of YouTube. If you become monetized, it's a business. Doesn't matter what you're talking about. How to knit a sweater. It's time consuming to talk endlessly about whatever you're talking about. And YouTube is a business. That's what's interesting when people throw daggers about YouTube. It's a double-edged sword, quite frankly. You understand? Because you do have people who are up here talking about certain things, such as true crime and certain scenarios dealing with human life. They're really not in it for the right reasons. And I feel like in the end, you got to stand account for that. That's just the way it goes. If you're not really in it for the right reasons, you're going to stand account for it either way. That's just the universe, whether you believe in God or not. You're going to get that back. But YouTube is a business. So it doesn't really matter what you're talking about. True crime, this and that. You know, a lot of people have a bad habit of saying that. Don't cash out when you're talking about this. You can't tell me not to cash out nothing because of what I'm talking about or anybody else, because once again, this is a business. You seem not to understand. Just like those super chats you send in. Oh, let me enlighten you. The creator doesn't get all of that. So I was sitting there looking at his numbers, all the people sending in the good money. Yoo-hoo! He doesn't get all of that, for those of you who didn't know. That's why people ask to get money through PayPal, Cash App, because they get all of the money. And it is your money that you're sending. I would think you'd want the creator to get all of the money. Stay woke. But he says he doesn't mind. Tony says, I don't have a problem with people getting money for their videos. You know, but make sure, hey, donate some of the money that you make. Or get up and help some form of fashion. Instead of, I guess, fanning the rumors, making up stuff. And I get that. Because a lot of people do that on YouTube. A lot of people do it on YouTube. YouTubers do it a lot. And the chat box does it a lot. Just make up any damn thing. And you see that a lot with YouTube. And then they get mad. Some of you get really angry because nobody wants to believe your little lies. Why? I don't have to. That's why I don't like getting into all this he said, she said shit. Because I do like a receipt. That's just what I'm supposed to ask. Well, where'd you hear that from? Where'd you get that information? Oh, I don't know. I just heard it. Somebody's channel. Oh, okay. And then you want me to pass it along. Or you want another creator to pass it along as if it's a spoken word. So it's a double-edged sword up here. It's a double-edged sword being in his predicament. Because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Get up from behind your computer. Hurting everyone else, trying to help, just doing something. Well, basically, if you're not going to help, do something else. Very interesting. Pass positive words. They want you all to pass positive words if you're going to be talking about his son in the case. My take on all of that information is there are pros and cons to a story. If you put out negative shit and act aloof and evasive, then you know you're going to get something negative in return. That's the way it goes. How is the content genuine if you don't address it? People talking about missing and dead people. Rhetoric starts. Rather the info is factual or not, which you have that in this case here. You don't have much of anything, and people are spinning what they want as the spoken word. And it doesn't help that Seth put out his bit of information. Then there was Nina who came out with her information. Then Mr. Proudfoot put out his information. Then we have the behavior and the words of the Proudfoots in the beginning from the interviews. And then their venture to YouTube, and that's all she wrote. Boom, boom, boom. Fireworks. So you have to own your part that you play, Mr. Rogers, Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot, Mr. Mathis, whoever else is involved. The problem is if you're lying. Some people do not want their secrets out, especially the suspects. It's common sense. Seth tells us he doesn't have social media, just YouTube. That's all I got is YouTube. So since Tony has come around, Tony has told him to stay off of YouTube. But he lets us know that, hey, they send me the stuff anyway. They send my mother stuff. Talks about taking off weight. Oh, wow. Some YouTuber was talking about Seth's weight and wishing somebody would put their hands on him. He lets her know, hey, lady, don't you know that's a crime? You trying to have an officer assaulted? That's time. Boy, he sounded so serious when he said that. Well, people talk shit, Seth Rogers. That's what people do. I'm not saying it's right. You got something to say? Stop being a coward. Come to my face and say it. Very interesting. Somebody's also put his phone number out on the internet. Now, why would you all do that? Come on, guys. Now, that's just ignorant. Don't put anybody's phone number out on the internet because you wouldn't want someone to do it to you. He wants to thank the North Carolina parents. He was looking at the pictures of the child by a Christmas tree, thinking of his son, Sebastian. And he said, you know, what made him think it was his son? By the way he walked, the way he held himself. Because, you know, I asked that question. How is he going to live down not knowing that wasn't his son? But if we ought to believe what law enforcement says, that the phone was AI generated and fraudulent, then I don't know how they did it. They zapped Sebastian's face over this kid's face. I don't know. It's all crazy to me. See, this is where I get frustrated. Because I don't like all this extra shit that you can't get no damn understanding about. It's frustrating. And I'm sure it's very frustrating for Mr. Rogers. Pascal asks Seth about footage of somebody emptying the trash, allegedly the boy. And this is where this becomes very dicey. Stay woke. He walked out the front door to empty the trash, I would assume. Or did he go out the back door to empty the trash? Because where this is a problem, law enforcement a week or so ago told us there's no video footage of the boy. So how do you identify Sebastian as the person walking out the trash? You have a figure walking in the dark and Katie Proudfoot's version. Checkmate. See, nobody's paying attention. Oh, the queen is always woke, even when she's tired. Lights off at a house where allegedly the dollar amount of the house is enough for you to want security so you can protect your valuables. Somebody did a little tour of the neighborhood on the YouTube channel. I watched it tonight. You know, decent looking houses. They're living better than some people, the people in that neighborhood. So I would think most of those people got some type of security, flashlight, motion lights, doorbell cameras. Allegedly, Katie works for a security company, so people are going to find that strange. It's all black. Oh, the street is so dark. Well, that's the reason why you have lights on your own damn house. You put those little lights to line up by the mailbox and you put it all the way up to the front door. That's what most Southerners do down China, Katie. So why is your house so dark? Now you want to blame the street lights. Well, call the city, call the county. Because Queen did a little research today on Hendersonville. I was quite impressed with what I Google searched and YouTube searched. About 68,000 people live in your town. You're obviously in the county since you couldn't dial 911 properly to get a real police department. Stay woke, everybody. 68,000. It's a nice amount of people. Now, the road where you live, you don't see a lot of stuff going on. That's what made me think it was rural. Because all the pictures they've shown on the news was rural. 2-lane roads with a sheriff department with siding. Queen hates siding. Don't mind me. That's what I said. What the hell is this? It's like Rogersville. What am I looking at? And then I go take a tour of Hendersonville by somebody's car today. YouTube video where, you know, this guy was touring, showing you what Hendersonville looked like. I said, oh, they got a lot of stuff going on. It's the city by the lake, is what they call it. For those who didn't know that. 29 minutes from Hendersonville to Nashville, Tennessee. Knowledge is key. So the only footage that he has seen of proof of life, because Pascal asked him this, is the video of the boy child leaving the steakhouse with his mother. That's all he has. They also talk about dash cams on cars. He says he doesn't have one on his car. Pascal says, well, who does? He says, I don't know. So Pascal, I want to ask you, why'd you ask that question? Have you heard that somebody has a dash cam in their car? Because everybody's been stalking around that damn house, stalking down there in Mississippi. Hell, maybe one of them went and walked by the damn truck and saw a damn dash cam camera. I don't know. Maybe he's just asking. I don't know. I'm just the messenger. Please don't shoot. No footage except for the child leaving the restaurant. And we hear, and once again, Katie says it was dark out. So I'm going to say this one more time. Seth, sweetheart, how do you know that's your child walking to the garbage can? Ooh. Tony says he don't know nothing about the dash cams either. Texas Roadhouse, only proof of life. Then they get on and start talking about Rockin' Robin. Oh, Lord. Woo! This is where Queen had a problem. I'm sorry. Akira, I don't know why he didn't know anything about the child. Or CPS, I have no idea. But they should have called him. Because that was also mentioned in this conversation that he has always had joint custody of Sebastian Rogers. Somebody dropped the ball, and naturally he could probably sue, and he'd have the right to, because when you found out that there were allegations of abuse by whomever, you all should have notified Seth Rogers. That's the first thing you should have said. Hello, ma'am, sir. Where's the biological father of Sebastian? Oh, he's just down the street. Well, what's his government name and his phone number? Please. And then you all should have ring, called him up. Hello, sir. We need to talk to you about your boy. That's how that goes. So he's got a good lawsuit. And right now, somebody in heaven has decided to start taking social workers to court. I brought you content on that about 2 weeks ago. Social worker buying food stamps off of mother and father abusing the children. Hell yeah. Your ass going down. Buying food stamps. So you working for an agency that's supposed to be helping Catholic charities. And they also were working with the state. And you up here buying food stamps and lying on your documentation. You're supposed to be visiting, checking on the child. And she fudged her documents. Wow. She got time too. Pascal asked him about Robin's commentary about knowing that the child was abused. And they say Tony decides to speak first, which is baffling. We haven't spoken to her. And we don't blame her for what she said. She's emotional. She's going through a lot. She feels bad about what's happened. She couldn't save him, blah, blah, blah. Tony, I don't mean to disrespect you. What the fuck are you talking about? That was her chance to save him. The hell do you mean? Because all she had to do was go run to Seth. Hey, this boy needs to come out of there. He's talking about these people that are abusing him. The hell you mean? Oh, you all don't want to rock the boat because that's his mama. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if it was my mama. I'm going to tell my mama about herself. Why in the world would you not tell me that my child was being abused? And you're supposed to be paying attention to your child anyway to notice that something is wrong. So, Seth, let's really do due diligence. Because I'm trying to be respectful, but the one thing I don't do is sugarcoat shit that's obvious, and this is too obvious. I bite my tongue sometimes in the beginning of a story until I get more information. Well, we are definitely past that stage. Your son was wearing a motherfucking diaper. Say it again, Queen. Your son was wearing a diaper. So really, you didn't need nobody else to come to you and tell you nothing about your child. Because what was you supposed to do? You were supposed to go to Katie Proudfoot, Christopher, hey, I want to holler at you. This boy coming over here in some damn depends. What's this all about here? Because I'd have been, Sebastian, boy, what you doing with them diapers, huh? Why you got a diaper on? And you gonna tell me the truth. Ding, 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 ding. Uh-oh, call the parents. What is he doing in a diaper? This conversation be mute. Over with. Because I got to understand it. So you see, sir, you don't want to rock the boat and talk bad about your mother on the Pascal show, but it still shows that you had obvious evidence that something was going on with your child. Whether your mother ever told you anything, Pookie, Ray Ray, DHS, you saw a child in a diaper. A grown child at that. Checkmate. So miss me with this deflection shit. Queen, don't do that. We don't do that over here. We call a spade a spade. And you're not calling a spade a spade. And how about giving your mother some advice? Mom, stay off of Facebook. Because in the beginning, your mother was nowhere to be found while you were on the ground looking for your child and the Proudfoots were doing their thing. You were all alone out there, as you kindly told us during this live stream. So everybody needs to hush for that very reason, because they were not around helping you. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful about your mother, but I can't give her a pass either. Because now we have a whole missing child. So it's a little too late to say, oh, we ain't going to get mad. Oh, don't blame her. Oh. You got a whole kid missing. Hell you mean? This is the reason why we have the problems we have in this country. It's because nobody wants to speak up. Nobody wants to rock the boat. Nobody wants somebody to lash out at them, threaten them. Well, when it comes to a child, you got to roll with the punches. And I wouldn't give a damn if I was 4 foot tall and the giant was 7 foot tall. He or she wasn't going to roll up on me talking about, you don't say nothing about me beating up no kid. If I got to puncture your kneecaps, I would. Puncture your kneecaps. Did you hear what I said? You do what you have to do. It's called preservation. So, Seth, are you going to say something to your mother about the abuse, or have you already? And as I said, are you also going to tell her to stop posting to Facebook? Seth says he feels helpless. So does his mother. People keep sending him stuff and sending her stuff about what people are saying and this and that, gossip, rumors, whatever, probably whatever the Proudfoots are putting out. DHS records, DCF, DSF, whatever y'all want to call it. He will not reveal what was said in the information Pascal tribe, and he would not. He told him, you need to go to church. You want to get this information. Hell, Pascal don't even talk about God. So what are you talking about, some church? Yeah, I said that. Because I noticed that at the end of that live stream, all this thanking. I ain't heard nobody thanking Jesus. Because, you know, I always give praise to the Lord. Potty mouth and all. Because he gets praise first. And I didn't hear that YouTuber thank God. And I'm going to leave that alone. Pascal asked him, is it more than one incident than the one where Proudfoot whooped him? And they basically was telling Mr. Pascal he was being messy. So, Seth, is there more than one incident in those files? He also lets us know that the files he received were redacted. Some things were redacted. What was redacted, sir? Curious. Sumner County already had the DHS records. Of course they're going to have them. Come on now. Stay woke. But TBI didn't. So he notified TBI, and he also has a lawyer. Pascal asked him, was he going to take any type of legal action against the Department of Human Services? And Tony decided to answer, everything's on the table. Shut your mouth. Well, this is where I have a problem with the DHS records. Whatever's in them, does it matter? Considering allegedly somebody said they closed the case. Or is that a lie? See, this is what happens when you don't have a receipt to nothing. Because if you depending on the Proudfoot to tell you the truth, you might as well take your whole head and stick it in a toilet of water. Because they're liable to tell you anything, and that's what they have been doing. So you don't know if the case is open, case was shut. Case could have been open. That's why the whole child got gone. I don't know. But I know they are liars. And anything they have said up here on the news and YouTube is null and void. They're going to have a visual for Sebastian. 2 events on May 19th, one at 4 and one at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. they're going to meet at the church, Long Hollow Church, Hendersonville, if you would like to attend. They're also planning another search and to also bring in other people to come in. They're going to have new machinery, more machinery to help. I guess that means drones and sonar equipment. Seth says he wants policies to change. Like what? You want policies to change? Policies about what, sir? I always tell people to think before speaking. You want policies to change about what? Missing children? 400-something children missing in Middle Tennessee. Well, let's talk about that for just a second, Mr. Rogers. What should our government, state government, do about missing children? Well, don't you think it kind of starts at the house? Because a child is missing for either 3 reasons. He ran away, human traffic, kidnap, human traffic, or somebody or parent unalived them. Take your pick. So where would the policies come in at? Because you would have to start with the human being that has access to the child, number one. The child is running away for some type of reason. Either they're wayward or they're running away because they don't like what's going on in their house. So that would start at home. If the child is wayward, then somebody needs to be talking to the child to see what's wrong with the child and asking the child why he or she keeps running away. Say, well, now when it comes to the sadist, pedophile, human trafficker, somebody needs to be talking to him or her about their dirty ass ways. And who gonna do that? Nobody. Because that's a self problem. Same with abusing your child. That's a self problem. Your child acting out. You need to get your child some help. Checkmate. So what policies need to be enacted? Because I'm confused at that comment. It took them 2.5 months to finally get these reports that are obviously old. Old information. Once again, 400 children missing. Out of Middle Tennessee. As I said, you want policies to do what exactly, Mr. Rogers? A program to reprogram people's brains on how to treat a child, how to make a child mind, How to make a sadist, not become a sadist, be a sadist. Are those the policies you're speaking of? You mean mental health? We have the Amber Alert. And so far, in my jurisdiction, I'm a little ways from you. They do put out notifications when children are missing. And we also get notifications when they're found. So I'm just curious to what you mean. Somebody in the chat mentioned something about Christopher's property, family members owning property near the landfill. Did you try having that searched? He said no. He don't know anything about it. I must say you were awfully right during this live stream. Is it because you're angry at all the ugly things being said about you? Personally, people blaming you for your role in this nonsense. You're not doing due diligence by your child. You're angry with the Proudfoots for not trying to help. You're just mad at the world. And it's understandable because I am not in your shoes. But I also know that everyone has a role to play. And the one thing, Mr. Pascal, you did not mention is Katie Proudfoot being 13, 14 when he met her. You didn't want to go there, did you? I'm just saying. But you didn't mind mentioning Robin. How about that? He says he ain't worried about Christopher Proudfoot not talking to him. Guess he feels like he's done all he can do. He's done his best to try to meet the Proudfoots halfway with an olive branch, and it's not working. Mr. Proudfoot refuses to work with Mr. Tony Mathis. Why is that, Christopher? Seth was making some jokes when asked about the K9 situation. Pascal said he didn't really know what that was about. And you said, I don't know either. But it took you a while. Because you were really joking. Like, really, you knew. I'm confused my damn self. So Tony jumps up to say, well, I was defending Jules the night before. And he says, basically, I just hope that no one ends up in this type of situation. So obviously, the nonsense pertaining to Jules Valente, the canine handler, is that people were getting her mixed up with the other young lady who was allegedly a fraud. I don't know the truth to all of that, but Jules has been in her feelings, and she seemed rather emotional in her Facebook post. So she said she was hoodwinked. But that's what I've been trying to explain to people about true crime. Just because a YouTuber makes a video about a missing person or dead person does not mean they genuinely give a fuck. Somebody decides to call 911 about their child missing does not mean they gave a fuck, because possibly they're the motherfucker that got the child missing. Are you all paying attention? The person who gets on the ground to pretend to search, they're only there possibly for clout chasing. People getting in your messenger inbox, they don't really care about your missing child. It's just something to do because they're bored. They need a job. This is why you have all these problems, Mr. Rogers. It's because people aren't genuine. Your child was living with people that weren't genuine. In your opinion, people who were allegedly trying to help you, you obviously feel like they weren't being genuine. People intimidating the searchers. That's the point of the story. Chaos breeds chaos. And there are going to be problems, and you all admitted that during this live stream. There's going to be gossip. There's going to be rhetoric. People are going to form their own opinions about a story. Exactly. And there are going to be messy boots. People who are not genuinely invested in the case. You have got to know how to weed them out. We also heard a lot of information about GoFundMes. They're going to try to start a GoFundMe. I had already told you all, the man needed money in the beginning because he wasn't working. He stopped working. So I didn't have a problem with anybody, sending him money. But the one thing I didn't hear him mention is about the Cash App that his friend was working for him. So, sir, do you still have that friend working your Cash App or no? Then there was some mess about somebody opening up something in a bank account. Money in a bank account. I thought that was strange when he mentioned that about 2 months ago. So now that's an issue he's trying to fight with lawyers and this and that. So he talked about all the legal wranglings with the GoFundMes and the bank accounts. See, that's why he needed help, because one person couldn't do all of this and still be trying to hold down a job. It's a lot when you're the only one doing all the work. So I understand the position that Seth Rogers is in. He's been the lone gunman. You got two parents who have checked out. Your parents don't live where you live. And you're trying to do all this GoFundMe, bank accounts for reward funds, this and that. It's a lot to deal with. And this is when your creepy crawlies come in and try to wreak havoc. It's expected. I'm going to drop the link for anybody that wants to come up and play with the queen for a little while. To give your opinion on the said information revealed in that broadcast last night. Thank you for joining me. Hold on one second, everybody. I tried to be brief as I could, reading all that information, skimming over everything that was said. I was a little bit slow. I try to write everything down, but I just don't like reading it back to myself. Pay me no mind. 1 second. Thank you for joining me. Hope you all are well out there. Please check my community page for said updates. I got a lot of shorts to make. I just don't have the strength to do it today, honey. Queen had to rest. I wasn't feeling well today, so this is why I'm coming on late. I want to hurry up and get this information out because I'm behind on other content. Prayers for Sebastian Rogers. May God bless this child wherever he is. And if indeed he met with foul play, then let the powers be. One second, everybody. Just a lot of nonsense. A lot of nonsense. But I told you all this happens with true crime. I gave you a for instance of how bad it can get in dealing with people because you don't know people. Even the people who are allegedly wanting to find their loved one, they can be difficult because that was also mentioned during the live stream that he can be difficult to work with. That's why he has Mr. Tony helping. But Tony, he let it be known. Tony could just try to, contain me. Try. He can try. Excuse me. Lord have mercy. Let me see what you all are talking about down here. Why won't Sumner County release information to Seth? They have the recordings and Chris Proudfoot is friends with the LE. What do you mean? Because it's an open investigation, sweetheart. She posted she sent flowers. I wanted to puke. Who sent flowers? Love you too, Susan. Who sent flowers, honey? They need to bring KP back in for an interview. Well, that allegedly they've done a lot of talking allegedly. Let me say this to everybody. I want everybody to please put your thinking caps on. Please, please, please. Stop asking questions about law enforcement questioning people. FBI, TBI, whoever the state police is, you know damn well they have questioned the Proudfoots. They have questioned the neighbors. They have questioned the school teachers. They have questioned anybody that lived around, worked with them, co-workers. They have talked to people. They've talked to DHS. They're going to talk to DHS first because the child is missing. He's a child. So the first thing you're going to do is say, call Department of Human Services. See if there's a case on this young man, this family. That's first and foremost. Then you go to the school. You check to see if he's been going to school, attending school, how many days he's missed school. Does he have any ailments, sick, doctor visits? They're going to seize all of his medical records, hospital visits. So let's go in the belly of the beast. How many times has the boy been to the doctor in the past year? Does he have any physical ailments, medical ailments, lupus, diabetes, anything, bone fracture? See, these are questions nobody asks. Everybody's talking about all this other crazy nonsense. Has the child been going to the doctor often? You see a lot of that with abuse. people taking their babies and kids and making up stuff that they fell and they bumped into the door handle. Oh, there's no door handle. You hit your baby. Oh, yeah, he was playing and he knocked the TV off the dresser and blah, blah, blah. Oh, your baby's been falling a lot lately. I know, he's so clumsy. How many times has the boy been to the doctor? Does he go for regular physical? See, thousands of questions nobody asks. Because everybody's too busy listening to Mr. Proudfoot. No good. No good. Stank foot, stank toe. Now, I didn't give him that name. That's the name y'all gave him. You know, Queen got her own names for Mr. Proudfoot. I was listening to AB last night. We're getting information about shadows from a doorbell camera. The person was either in the living room or the dining room, lights flashing on and off. Katie Proudfoot, you want to tell us what that was about? We'll jump over to your page now. Get off of Seth. Katie, you. Oh, somebody got videos up tonight. They say you home. It must be that video that guy was watching today. He drove by your house so many times, I started getting dizzy. I thought, you gonna go to jail, white person. You'll drive by this fucking house one more damn time, your ass going to jail. Because somebody should see, why does this car keep riding by this neighborhood? Which is a free country, but damn. You just went round and round, round and round, round in circles. I said, Lord, they're going to get your tags. Your ass going to go to jail fooling with them folks down there in Hendersonville. And that's another thing I want to talk about too. Katie, I'm still on the YouTube, darling. For the neighbor who has been giving up information to YouTubers, let me talk to you for just a second. And everybody listen to me very carefully. It might be amusing to some of you getting all this tea from Facebook and people running the YouTube with the good news. But the one thing none of you all are thinking about is safety. If a person can intimidate a searcher to where they decide to stop searching, Cajun Navy, what makes you think somebody couldn't pay the neighbor a visit? You all better stay woke. I'm going to say it again. If the searchers can be intimidated to stop searching, what makes you think somebody can't pay the neighbor a visit who's been running their mouth to YouTubers? Because see, a YouTuber, they're living comfortable in their little shed tucked away. They're not going to be around when somebody decides to cut your lights and cut your fucking phone cords off at your house. And if Mr. Proudfoot is any dirtier than what we think he is, oh, believe me, he can send a messenger. And there'll be no talking to a YouTuber. Because you may not even have breath to call damn 911. So you all are not paying attention. You're getting all this excitement. He went to YouTube. The neighbor said the neighbor could be dead. Then what you gonna say then? You all better wake up. There are people out here who will do things to you for running your mouth. So what turns out and sounds like good news, good gossip, can also get you good dead. How about that? And I thought about that when that guy was riding that damn neighborhood today, and I was watching that video tonight. He did ride. Those houses are made very weird. They got these long-ass driveways, because none of the houses sit close to the street. So they got these long driveways, whether they're flat or whether they sit on a hill. And the driveways run right up under, right in front of garage doors. I've never even seen houses made like this before. It's very interesting how they made these houses in this neighborhood. So the first thing I kept thinking was, I'm going to keep watching this guy go around in circles because he's making me dizzy as hell, but I'm going to keep watching him any damn way. I'm looking at the house with the driveway, and then I'm looking at the house next door. And naturally, the house next door will have little windows where you can look out. And you can see, naturally, a garage, so a person could just look out the window and see, maybe they're standing in their window and you just so happen to open your garage door and I can see straight through and, oh, there's a bed in there, blah, blah, blah. Whoever's been giving YouTubers information about the Proudfoots, you better be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Because we can laugh and joke, even though this is a serious matter, but the Queen cracks jokes on fools. That's what I do best. I'm basically a comedian that's that's Mr. Colin. But all jokes aside, we have seen what people can do when you start running your mouth. And it happened in Bardstown, Kentucky, with the young lady who was murdered by the boyfriend. And look how many years it took to bring justice home. He's finally incarcerated. He had sidekicks arrested. I believe they killed her father. When you watch the documentaries, there was pure corruption in that town. His brother was a cop. He was dirty. I believe they also killed another cop. They threw something in the road and blocked the road. The cop gets out of his car. Boom, boom, boom. They shoot him. The father, he shot several hundred yards away through a brush from the interstate. People are evil. And this guy had a lot of money, a lot of real estate in Kentucky. So it's easy to get pay people to do things for you, and people will do it for the almighty dollar. So while everybody's joking and having a good time, slapping their knee at this bullshit playing out on YouTube, somebody gonna end up getting hurt. And then it won't be too funny. Because just like somebody said in the chat the other day, they said, we used to joke about Don Wells and Candace, what they would do and wouldn't do. They said, oh, I believe Christopher Proudfoot would do something to somebody. He might. He might. All I'm saying is, you don't want to find out. How about that? Because while you're running to YouTube, did you go tell the police what you saw in the garage? Now we got shadows in the windows. So who the hell is this person? You think Christopher Proudfoot don't know who you all are? Come on now. Let's stay woke. Damn, you all really you don't pay attention to shit. No way somebody can see in that garage except for somebody's house that's lined up side by side. So now he knows, I got a snitch next door. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I can see somebody moving in the dining room. So then you got to ask yourself, where's the dining room in the house? Front room means just what it means. Front room. That's the first windows in the house. So that means my neighbor got a doorbell camera directly across or beside him. So let's say 3 houses. You all better stay woke. Now, somebody starts having some little nasty ass accidents over there. Imagine that content for YouTube. Oh my gosh, that guy that was telling stuff on YouTube about the Proudfoots? What happened? His car ran down a ravine. They think somebody pushed his car off the road. The link is in the chat. You have something you want to say about this nonsense playing out on YouTube? Because it's getting real ugly now. And Seth had a real bad attitude in that commentary, but that's expected. But I still cannot give his mother a pass. And I can't give him a pass because Pascal never mentioned nothing about the diapers, all the stuff that people are talking about. So there's a lot more that could have been discussed besides Rock and Robin. He didn't touch on meeting Katie because he knew that would be offensive to Seth if he said anything about that because they have a good rapport. And Tony would have flipped his lid. I thought you were our friend. How could you say such a thing? Well, what did I say? A pedophile can't talk about another pedophile. We're not going to dance around this stuff, because this is what I keep telling people. You got to think about what you're putting out. You got to think about what you're putting out here. Because see, once you say something about somebody, you can't take it back. You can apologize if you want to, but it's out here. Just like you all worried about that clip in the Nancy Grace podcast. Well, people saw it. Can't take it back. And you admitted that that was what was asked of you during the polygraph. I mean, after the polygraph. So you gave your opinion. You just weren't expecting to hear it on a podcast. But you did. So then we got to ask that question. How long was Katie giving him sleeping aids? See, this is why I said there's way more to this story than what you've been hearing. And I thought about that when that guy was driving by those houses today, or the video I watched today. First thing I said, if you're driving by Katie and Chris's house, and we already know this boy is missing, and we also are hearing stories about abuse, imagine what's going on in the other houses. Bingo card. Imagine what you don't know about the Proudfoots. Bingo card. All those pretty houses, they about $400,000, $500,000. Most of us would love to live in a $500,000 house. These folks up in here beating up kids, tying them up, putting them in cages, locking refrigerators. I heard somebody say that the other day and I almost wanted to cuss them out. I had to contain myself. Lock the refrigerator? Do you know how disrespectful that is to put a lock on your refrigerator? Then you might need to talk to your children. Because there's a reason why your child will be sneaking food out of the refrigerator. Gluttony. Or are you not feeding your child? Stay woke. But this happens in America, and you don't find out until somebody finally gives the tea. I've been noticing some strange things with the children. They look awfully frail. They've been wearing these big old clothes. It's 100 degrees outside. And then somebody goes and knocks on the door, and then the truth is out. Finally. Imagine what's going on in all those houses out there. Hendersonville, La La Land. Big pretty houses. They got nice cars in the driveway. Woo, Lord. Nice cars. Just make you want to just walk up, knock on the door. Can I come in? I just want a glass of lemonade. I'd be a little rat poison tucked under the sink for a special guest. Because you don't know people. Every day we see true crime stories that are horrific about abuse, neglect of disabled individuals, disabled children, elderly people, husbands, wives, boyfriend, girlfriends hurting each other, harming each other, sibling rivalry. Black guy just stabbed his mother and stepfather up north. Great lady, they said. But I knew something was wrong with the son from the 911 call. 911, what's your emergency, please? Yeah, something wrong with my mama. They tried to hurt me. Excuse me? Yeah, my mama tried to hurt me. I'm all right, though. Sir, where's your mother? They tried to hurt me. I knew then he was delayed. So then you got to ask yourself, how long have they had this delayed individual living in their house? This is why they keep trying to tell you, you better be careful with them grown kids in your house. Especially if one has a disability, a mental disability, schizophrenic. You don't know when the voices are going to take over. You see this time and time again. Parents cutting the child off. That happened here in Knoxville. 28-year-old white man chops up his mommy and daddy because they decided to quit giving him money. Damn right. But did they think they were going to be unalive Thanksgiving? Of course not. Mother's head inside of a pot on the stove. Need I say more? Law officials said it's the most gruesome scene they'd ever seen in their lives in being in law enforcement. He said, can you imagine looking through the window and seeing blood everywhere? Because those people gave their son a fight, but they lost the battle. And then besides him stabbing these people, cutting them up, he's now dismembered them. And they're all over the house. And then he kindly packs up his little bag, goes back to Louisiana. Okay, I'm done. Wow. This is what you think of your mother and your father. They were selling their house. They're going to move up further East Tennessee to be near their daughter and other family members. But they didn't get that opportunity because their psycho son butchered them and chopped them up. So this is why I tell you, you have to be aware of your surroundings, even with your own family. Some of you will argue me down. I love my kids. I love my kids. They got to stay with me. Well, you better hope your child's mind is right. There's no reason for a stable adult that doesn't have any mental disabilities to be living with their parents. See, they aided their child. He went to college in Louisiana and he fucked up, flunked out. That was their sign then. And so they continued to pay his way down in Louisiana and he wouldn't keep a job. So you got to think about how old it is, how old you are from the time you go into college. 18. He was 28 when he murdered his parents. Need I say more? 10 years of footing the bill for somebody who would not work, carry their weight. And now they're dead. What is going to happen? Come of this case. This case is scary. Good God Almighty. I've never seen anything like it. Thought Summer Wells was hell. This is just outrageous. Let's see what we can find from my friend.
Apparently, Tony Mathis and Seth Rogers are going to drop some info details on the Pascal show tonight. So make sure that you tune in for that. Any speculation what that might be probably has anything to do with what I heard, CPS reports. I would think Seth is going to probably want to address that publicly to distance himself from what he knows and what he doesn't, what's a surprise to him, and things that hopefully he can talk more in depth on. Therefore, helping the process along a little bit. Let's go up and look at JLR. There's also this mystery shadow, this report that a neighbor's Ring doorbell caught around 11 o'clock p.m. the night before Sebastian was reported missing by his mother, or Chris, through my call, excuse me. The light was on Sebastian's room, and you can see on the Ring doorbell, allegedly, that there's shadows occurring. It doesn't fall in line with what Katie was presenting to social media and you would think her official story. So there's a group out there that's posting on JLR's Facebook group that they're in contact with the mayor, the local mayor in Hendersonville, and trying to hold him accountable for what doesn't fall short of nepotism in this investigation.
Missing folks and
and he has something to say about JLR too. He doesn't like him very well. Well, now, I guess there's probably a lot of people on YouTube he doesn't like. Mr. Rogers. And this is definitely not Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Shut your mouth. This is just Nonsense. No one wants to go on panel with the vultures in this community. Well, I'm not one of the vultures. You're welcome to come up here. That's the thing. When I don't have the StreamYard up, somebody comes in the chat and say, where's the stream? Where's the panel? Because nobody likes to come up. Just want to sit and chat. It keeps the continuity flowing if you hit the panel. People want to hear other people's opinions without reading commentary, reading text messages. I'm not a texter anyway. Now, if I decided to turn the comments off, it wouldn't allow you all to talk and chat. You complain about that. Oh, she turns the comments off. She won't let us say anything. Why do you think I dropped the StreamYard? So you can give your opinion. There's a lot said in there. I can't believe nobody wants to say something about what was said with these people. Maybe I'll just do the shorts from now on. No more live streams. Cut my time down, my free time down. My time is valuable to me. What, Bear? Shouldn't be saying that. Hold on. Are you going on your phone? Or on your computer? Let me make sure I'm not leaving anything out. Hold on, sweetie. Oh, see, you made it up there. All right, Bear.
Me, because my husband, he's blocked.
Bear Williams, where you calling from?
Colorado.
Colorado, what you got? Did you watch the Pascal show, sweetheart?
Yes, and I just don't like that. I just think Mr. Pascal is naive.
Hey, elaborate. Slow down. Elaborate. What do you mean?
He doesn't seem to really get the depth of what he's dealing with.
Okay.
Or
is it that he's playing a game with these people?
I hope that's what it is. I hope that's what it is.
Well, if you're playing a game, then you're not really being genuine now, are you?
No, and maybe that's why he's not getting the answers he needs.
Okay.
Somebody knows where that child is. This is a bigger thing than just that child missing. That child missing about blew something out of the water, but they got something else going on. They're all covering for. And I think it involves the police department. I think it involves city officials. I don't know if it's child prostitution. I don't know what they're doing, but they got something.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's trafficking. As that Mr. Peter Hyatt says, usually with that age, no, not boys.
Dope?
Not boys.
Meth? Do they have a meth lab?
Not boys.
There's a lot of that out here. There's a lot of that.
Well, you know, I know that because we're, you know, in fentanyl city here. But
it's worse in Denver.
Pill City, all that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is people have a type when it comes to human trafficking. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I don't see that with him.
Well, no. If they were going to kill the child, if they were going to use him in a snuff movie. Okay. I'm not saying, yes. And that's why I wanted you to look into that Mark Redwine case. That was so horrific. It was unreal. And we searched for that child for 2 years. They found parts of him.
Okay.
So it was, you know, but it's real hard. And that's why I was so curious about the dogs. What did the dogs find? Maybe they didn't find a body, but maybe they found something else.
Well, let's start with the obvious. Let's start with something that you don't hear a lot of people talking about, which would be, could this have been a prank? He was talking to somebody, had their number, they lured him out, come out, meet us, and they wanted to play a prank and it went wrong, or it was deliberate. Students. Could this be a student prank gone bad?
But would it have been kids that were sitting home listening to their parents talk about what the kids' parents had said and what a mess the kid was and what a problem he was? And
No. You
don't think it was like teenagers?
Listen, when you go to school, nobody told you about a kid at school. You knew about a kid at school because you went to school, right?
Right.
Your mother didn't have to tell you about a kid being bad. You saw the kid at school. You know how kids do.
Did the kid wear diapers in school?
Well, let Christopher tell it. That's why they didn't like him. Made fun of him. So you don't know what to believe because Christopher lies. I don't know what to believe with these two. But Seth has confirmed it, so that's what's jacked up. So that's one thing about this story that's the truth. He is missing, and he did wear diapers.
But I do not understand how parents of a missing child could talk so derogatorily about the child, or even talk at all and be on Facebook and YouTube.
But you know why they're talking. He's talking because he never wanted him there.
Right. They both were glad to get rid of that child. Exactly. They were both relieved.
Yeah, they relieved.
Yeah.
And that's why I find it strange. She didn't want to stay at the house. I said that to myself today when I was cooking. I said, how the hell are you going to get rid of your kid if I believe that you did? Because I do believe they did. And now you don't want to stay at home. You're going to go run down there and be with Christopher. You should be glad to be around and be at the house alone. Wasn't that the purpose of killing the damn kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they just don't have time for that kid. They're too busy with their little lives, whatever it is. There's something there, though.
They weren't doing nothing. What were they doing, Bear?
Dope. I think so. I think so. They got tweaker wave. I think they got something going on. I know, but I've seen it so many times, and I've seen it up front and close, and that's exactly what that is.
So you believe the parents were getting high?
I believe the parents are getting high, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they still are. They probably stopped, but yeah, I do believe they are.
Wow. Boy, that's deep.
Because where are they getting all the money for this? Who's funding all this?
Funding all what?
Like that house. I had a 7-bedroom house.
He has a job. He has a
right, but my mortgage alone was $3,000 a month. And that didn't cover the bills.
You got to count. They've been in the military. They get military checks. You don't know what money they saved before they came here from California. You don't know how much money they got from a house they sold in California. So you got to count all of that. Why do you think people are moving here from California?
Well, we're in Colorado and we're inundated with that.
Well,
we got a bunch of elitist yuppies here in Colorado that believe they have the right to break the law and do dope because it's what they want. And I thought, where the hell is this coming from? Then I realized, they moved all here from Texas and California. Oh, because it used to be California bagging this. Well, we have a right to do dope, and we have a right to riot, and we have a right. Well, now it's Colorado because they're all here. It's bad here. It's so bad. Do you ever watch Lauren Boebert? She is from my area. If that isn't a ridiculous set of whatever, I don't know.
Well, Lady K says she don't believe they're doing dope. Drinking maybe, but not getting high.
There's something there. There's something. Nobody acts like that and is so vehement about holding on to whatever it is and not talking. And to get a whole group of people not talking, there's something there. There's a common thread running through that whole crew. I don't not believe it. I just don't. I won't. Well,
let me ask you this. The child, do you believe he was functioning to a capacity to where he could go out here and work a job and live on his own and also go to college?
At some point, maybe, but I think somewhere in there he might have been beat on, got a head injury, and started regressing.
Oh my God!
That's what I believe.
How did you come up with this? Beat on the head?
Well, because head injuries cause a lot of those kind of symptoms.
Yeah, but he is autistic. We don't really know.
He's autistic, but I don't. There was a point when he was functioning all right, and then all of a sudden he regresses to like 2-year-old. That's hard for me.
Well, somebody in the chat said he might have been using the bathroom as a form of.
My youngest son was autistic, and
abused or touched or something.
He's high functioning, but my son, he'd never wet his pants. What he did was he hoarded food under his bed. Yeah, but it wasn't anything like that, and we understood that it was brand new thing. He hoards food, so everybody knew it, and we didn't put locks on the fridge, and we just would help him clean his room. Everybody pitched in and kind of kept an eye on him.
What happened to the child, Bear?
They abused him. They terrorized him. They didn't like him, and they come out on national things and say how much they didn't like him and how messed up he was, and that is just so ugly. That's a child. I
What
would still be
happened to
home on the
him?
floor
What
in tears.
happened to him after the steakhouse, Bear?
They put him in something and carried him out, or they put him in the trunk
I said from the steakhouse.
from the steak. He left the steakhouse, and they did something with him on the way and stashed him and went back.
They stashed him where?
Well, I don't know, but did you see that case of them homeless people that were stashing that little girl for like 4 or 5 places? They had her in the ceiling of a homeless shelter, and they had her. Oh,
Harvey
it's terrible.
Harvey Montgomery.
Yeah, yeah, and they were stashing her everywhere. And I just think some people do that, and I don't think it matters where they are. They do that. They act like that in public. They act like that at home. They don't know better, and they get so used to acting like that, they don't
Yeah.
see any flaw in
Well,
it.
that's my point to when people keep asking about how he's acting and what is he doing. Is it forefront? This is Christopher Proudfoot. That's
Why are they making so much noise? They're covering for something. They want a lot of smoke and mirrors to cover up whatever it is. So there's so much chaos, nobody gets to the bottom of it.
Well, do you think
That's-
Katie's ever going to speak to somebody like
If she
Nancy
runs
Grace
out of dope or whatever it is,
Huh?
if she runs out of dope or something,
Oh my!
I don't know what she got, but it's got to be that. I've seen that so much that it's crazy. Those tweakers are, I mean, they're scurrilous, and they think they're invisible, and they stay awake for days, and they all work, and most of them, or else they have their little homie friends. But
Let
yeah,
me
how many?
in the chat.
How much traffic? How much traffic are they getting on that road to
Sugar,
their house?
address Sugar for a minute. I don't understand why anybody believes that's him on the camera going to empty the trash when you don't have him on camera leaving the house. So then how did he get out of the house? You're contradicting yourself. Think about it. Oh, I think that's him going to empty the trash. Okay, then where's the footage of him leaving the house to walk out?
That was Katie.
That was Katie Wynn. Emptying the trash?
Yeah.
Probably was.
That was Katie.
Because you can't have one without the other. You can't say, well, it was dark, it looked like him. Then where is the him coming out to walk out of the house at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, wherever? You can't have one without the other.
Right. And everybody wanted that child gone. Nobody took care of him. They all have a guilty conscience about what each part played and didn't do. Grandparents and everybody. Now they're all talking, but they don't have any, like I asked, where does he have a college fund? Does he have a fund so that when he's not able to work, he can go forward? I bet there's nothing there. They didn't plan a future for that child. They planned to get rid of him.
If he doesn't have the capacity to go out here and be on his own.
Yeah, but he's going to have needs. He's going to have needs. He's going to have need to play.
I'm not going to plan for something right away. He's just 15. You understand what I'm saying? So if I know my child,
yeah, but did they start when he was little? I mean, some of my kids' college funds started when they're babies. Yes, ma'am.
If my child doesn't have the capacity to work a job, doesn't have the capacity to rent an apartment, doesn't have the capacity to do college work or trade work, I'm not getting ready to prepare for anything. Think about it. Why would I be preparing for something when I see the capacity of my child? That's why I'm asking the question.
Because he's a life and a child. And my autistic son, he did not become autistic till about 13, but he had a college fund and he always could have a bank account because we knew no matter what, he needed money. He will need money. He will need money. And that's always a priority, especially a child that's going to have needs. And you don't know how that's going to affect their health later on. And a lot of the older kids say, oh, yeah, give it to Brandon because
if you're in the chat, all you have to do is just hit that link where it says HTTPS on your touchscreen phone.
Yeah,
iPad,
I did that, and it kept shutting me out.
Well, I'm talking to these people out here. They want to know how to work it. I told you all they have to do is just hit it, and it'll guide you up. You can either leave your camera on or leave your camera off. Bear, you are being so difficult during this live stream. I don't know what's going on with you.
I just really have some feelings about this, and I see all these kids disappearing.
Huh?
Yeah, I see all these kids disappearing. Everything is just going crazy, and nobody has accountability. Nobody knows anything.
But guess what? A lot of people that do stuff like this, Bear, they're not getting high. Ain't nothing wrong with them.
Then
And you know
pull
that.
a trash bag over their head and ride them like a bull till they quit kicking.
Oh,
'Cause
my,
what is the purpose of that?
oh, my
I
Jesus.
mean, you can't even blame it on alcohol or dope. Oh, hell, kill yourself. Kill your
Oh,
damn self. I'm sorry, but that's just too much.
I
You
think
ain't
you've
got
been hanging.
no.
I think you've been hanging with Seth Rogers. Damn.
I just can't.
Jesus.
I
What is
can't. How could
what
you
is
be
going on
so
with you tonight?
oblivious? How could you be so damn oblivious?
Okay, let's start down the line with everything we done heard. You do believe that they hurt the child or they didn't hurt the child?
I believe they hurt the child. I believe the child's dead, and I believe they
Okay.
disposed of him. I
Okay.
believe
Do
that
you
was the
believe
whole
the child?
reason for
Listen,
going out to the steakhouse.
let me finish every question now. Do you believe the
Okay.
child can go out here and work on his own and have a job, home? Do you believe that?
Possibly in the right home and environment, yes.
Okay.
Where with treating him like less than a dog, no. He's
Do you
not
believe the
learning.
child was sleeping in the garage, Bear?
Yeah, I do.
How long, Bear?
Don't know. Don't know.
Do
I
you
think
believe he
it's
was wearing a diaper at the time of death?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
Do
do.
you believe the child told other people he was being abused since now we know grandma knew?
Yeah, I believe he did. And that's why I say there's so many people that feel so guilty. He
Okay.
probably told a few people.
Okay.
I bet there's more than 10 that know.
Do you believe Seth confronted them about why he was wearing a diaper?
No.
Okay. Why do you think
I
the
believe-
grandmama would not tell her son that her grandson is being abused?
Because she knew for longer than she let on. Because when she found out, she had known for a while anyway, and should have said something way before and felt stupid about not ever saying nothing and covered.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted the child gone too. Nobody liked that little boy, that poor little thing in that house with them monsters.
Well, you say everybody. Are you saying Mr. Seth Rogers as well, ma'am?
Well, he didn't do nothing for his child. He didn't check on him. He didn't call the school. Did he ever go to a school play? Did he go to any teachers associating meetings? Did he take the kid to the doctor one time to make sure the wife ain't bullshitting? I mean, what the hell? This is your child. I know people that take better care of their dogs.
Woo, because y'all know y'all take care of them dogs. We not.
Yeah, but geez, I just tell you, this is crazy. I mean, this is your baby. If you don't protect your baby,
hell is this?
well, you don't protect your baby. What the hell do you protect? Your cars, your clothes, your girlfriend? Fuck that. Where's your kids? Goddamn good thing you don't have a dog. There you go.
Well, these two do have 2 dogs.
Well, somebody will probably go get them dogs. I bet with all them people driving by, shit, that's going to be a circus. Do you remember the laundries? They had people watching, thinking they had a hand reaching out of their garden. Those poor folks.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. I mean, they were fucked up people, and I still think they are, but that is just craziness. I have never stalked anybody. I'll kick you in the ass and tell you I'm there and tell you why.
Let me tell you this. Now, you know the neighbors are speaking about shadows in the windows, child sleeping in the garage. Do you think that their safety is at risk for speaking?
Yeah, I think their safety is definitely at risk.
Okay.
And not just from the actors, but maybe from the police department as well, because if there's any dirty cops or CPS
And we're going to
involved,
go there too. Do you believe there's corruption? Do you believe Mr. Christopher Proudfoot is in cahoots with a deputy or 2?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. He's a good old boy. The good old boy.
Good old boy.
Yeah.
Ain't meaning no harm.
Yeah. Don't get a dog.
It's not funny because this is how a lot of things slip through the crack. People favoring people that they're cool with, and like they commit crimes. They give them a slap on the wrist. They don't write the citation. They don't write the report. They just say, "Hey, go calm down. Go back in the house." And now you're stuck with this crazy psychotic neighbor who's cool.
Yeah, they do that a lot out there. They do. We had a shooting and they never even came.
Now, where did you live?
Yeah,
you live in a residential area?
No, this is it's kind of rural. We're in southwest Colorado, in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So it's kind of rural, but yeah, they didn't even show up, and and the cartel runs our police anyway.
So ain't nobody borrowing sugar where you live.
No. No, and all my kids lived, and ain't nobody missing any kids. Weird thing is, we're out here like
Well, let me ask
reservation
you something.
dogs and assholes, but we
Are
don't
you on
treat
the
our kids that way.
outskirts? Are you on the outskirts of a nice sized town, or how far does it take you to get into town to get gas, something like that? Grocery
Oh,
store.
about 20 minutes to get from
That ain't
Bayfield
no
to
good.
Durango. No, there's gas
That ain't no
stations at
good.
Bayfield.
That ain't no good.
No, well, to get out to the house, though, see, because it's Southern Ute Resland, you have to, the police from like Durango can't even go out there. They have to ask the Southern Ute cops if they can speak with you.
Oh.
And if you say no, they have to leave. But it's like that, but ain't nobody missing no kids.
Mm.
Except the young ladies that are missing the native ladies. And we have a lot of them. A lot of them.
Heard of that. They have a lot of them missing in Canada too.
Yes, and it's getting really creepy like that. And there's just a lot of missing young ladies down here by this I-40 and stuff that goes, through Albuquerque and everything. It's pretty crazy.
So what do you think? The women are like hitchhiking or something?
I think they get picked up here and there. I don't think they're all hitchhiking.
Okay.
I think somebody is predatorily picking them up and killing them.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you see an arrest soon?
No.
Wow.
Unless the cops are gonna do their job. But there is a reason
you don't think TBI, the sheriff's department, are investigating and have a suspect or two?
They have suspects, but it's probably convoluted with all this.
You
And they
think
don't have a body.
You think they planned it out properly as not to leave behind any evidence, such as
I think they planned it for a
doorbell
while.
camera, lights off, no cell phones, burner phones, because he could have
All
bought a
these
burner phone
$5
all the way down to
trucks.
Mississippi
How
or
come nobody
anywhere.
got GPS? When I had an $85,000 pickup, I had low jacked it. Anything above $50,000, we low jack out here. Why does nobody? And there's GPS on newer vehicles. There's GPS even if you don't low jack it. They can get into your car's brain and take out
What does that
every
mean,
place the
low
car's
jack?
been.
What are you saying, girl?
That's it's like GPS. It's for like buses are low jacked, big corporate vehicles, all kinds of heavy equipment. Because when that shit disappears, you got to know where it is.
Okay.
And
Sugar.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you calling me from? Barry, did you finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sugar, where you calling from?
From Texas.
Woo! Texas in the house. Texas. What did you have to say about the show? Did you watch the show last night, baby?
I was just watching it when you came on live.
Oh, so you didn't finish it?
No, ma'am.
Oh, so because I've already recapped everything. So
they got real cops and real laws in Texas.
They got a lot of problems in Texas too. Don't get me started on Houston.
Yeah, but at least their cops try. Where a lot of places they give up.
Children being abused. I don't know how many cases come up in the YouTube queue about abuse of children in Texas. In Houston County, Houston is horrible. It's horrible. I don't even think they got proper people to even work all the damn crimes they have.
No, they don't anywhere.
CPS, DHS, they've been corrupt for many years. There's been many politicians and etc. that have died behind trying to fix the corruption.
All right, Sugar, tell me what's on your mind.
I was able to find the general of most of the CPS cases, and it just worrisome that, how Chris is saying that he wasn't home for a month when there's definitely video footage and a waitress statement. They like that Texas, what was it, Longhouse, Roadhouse, something like that.
Texas Roadhouse.
They were there 2 weeks prior, and Chris got upset with Sebastian and made such a scene, and they left in the middle of the meal, which made it memorable to the waitress.
So what happened?
The waitress wrote a statement, but I'm just saying, he was.
Well, where you get that statement from?
The waitress at Longhorn, she gave it to Ellie. But if you go like on the deep web, you can find a lot of reports. You just get a little bit of redacted.
Well, she called it. Wait. You mean there's a police report of a waitress writing a report about what happened in the damn restaurant?
Yes, ma'am. 2 weeks prior.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
They had 5 cases, the latest one being closed in December of last year.
Was there any single case?
Wait, girl, let her finish. Go finish what you're saying. Okay. What now?
The neighbors have reported, him sleeping in the garage and etc. They.
Well, do you believe that? Do you believe that? Sugar.
Yes, because it says it redacts their address, but it puts Hendersonville and it puts
So you have seen
non-friend.
the actual report of the
Yes,
complaint of it. Okay.
yes.
Because yeah,
Some
those
of
are
it you
public
can
record.
see.
So we would
Some
know
of
if
it
they
is
lied or not.
redacted.
Yeah.
Some of it is redacted. Also, the
Okay.
safety plan is in there. The abuse and neglect was founded, so it was said to be true. And what they did was put a safety plan in place, which the safety plan says that Chris is not to be left alone with Sebastian, and he has to
And
be
where you get that?
supervised.
And where you read all that at, girl?
From the reports that I found, you
What
just got to
the
go on the
fuck?
deep web and you can find them.
So that's why you're saying that's why he wasn't coming home. Is that where you going with this?
Yeah,
Okay. So
that's
guess
why he
what?
said
So
he wasn't
everybody, so I
coming
want
home.
everybody to cool off for just a second and think about what I'm getting ready to say. Okay. Imagine everything you said is true. Okay. I'm not getting ready to pay a mortgage for my wife and this kid I don't like or ain't getting along with. How long you think that was gonna last, right?
It wasn't.
Right.
She was
Exactly.
already given an ultimatum according to
Exactly.
even her and her friends.
Okay. Mhm.
Um,
Wow.
and he didn't fit in with their lifestyle. You know, Chris joined a motorcycle club and he just full patched last year.
Full
Uh-huh.
patch. A bikers club.
Yeah,
No
and the
drugs
crazy part
involved, huh?
is the
Wait.
LE that he joined is like a 5150. It's an outlaw club, but yet it contains military and law enforcement.
Okay. So let's just say I'm joining the club. I want to travel, do things. I want my husband. He's complaining. He's unhappy. Do you believe they actually sat down and came up with a plan to unalive Sebastian Rogers, ma'am?
No, I do not believe they had a plan. I believe they might have crossed their mind or whatever, but I don't think they actually sat down and made a plan.
Okay, but then what happened to the child?
I think that an accident happened. You know, he had that his head was very sensitive due to that deleted chromosome. And I think just whatever. But it makes you have to wonder if they did make a plan, because when asked by, you know, all his family, her family, etc., which there's not much of her family to ask that
Mm-hmm,
was talking to them,
mm-hmm.
they sure had a large day that day. They went out to eat twice, went
Uh-huh.
shopping, bowling.
Mhm.
That's why I said, could this be a repeat of Summer Wells? I want
Yes.
everyone to see the child out. He's happy. He's bubbly. Everybody's getting along. Poof, voila, now he's gone. Say what?
Exactly.
110%.
Is the
Exactly.
niece, listen, is the niece our boy H?
I 110% believe that.
Yeah, I do too.
So then you believe it's planned then?
Not
I
planned.
do.
It's
I
more
do.
of like, I don't think they actually sat down and said, "Oh, we're going to do this and this and this on this date." Maybe some type of planning,
Mm-hmm.
but not like we sat down and we hosted over it for, you know, a week or a month, or, you know, thought everything
I
out.
think events occurred that solidified
Well,
that
you saw
child's
what
fate.
happened. Well, you saw what happened out in Oklahoma, and a
What?
No,
lot of people knew about that plan of the social worker and that girl. So it can be done, and it has been done.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
The world
Yeah.
it's an evil
And
place.
that's the scary part of what happened out in Oklahoma. Is a prime example of coercion and weak-minded people. That you can sit up and complain to a person about your fucking problems, and then they stupidly go along with you to unalive another human being plus another human being. Then they were going to do something to the judge. Well, let's not stop there. Let's get the bailiff, the clerk. See where I'm going?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when do they ever stop?
That's my point.
They
Mhm.
don't. Didn't you see our Sons of Silence pull that crap on the wardens and ride to Texas, and the crap they pulled down there,
Yep.
killing those? Yeah. And that was just that kind of crap. They were going to keep going if they wouldn't have got caught.
Bad thing is, I don't think that there will be any justice here, as it's already said by and admitted by the Sumner County that they had that there's tampering with evidence. They're saying that it was not collected properly. They're also saying that chain of custody. I don't know what the problem is with
Who is
that.
they? Sugar, who is
The
they?
reports I found, and they're also saying lack of communication between agencies.
How you got all this and ain't nobody
You
else
can get that
put
off of
this
Nancy
out?
Grace.
But that's
You
what
can
I'm
get that
saying.
report.
As much as these people are nosy,
You can get that report off of Nancy Grace, and you also get Nancy Grace's analysis. And Nancy Grace on her first, when she had the Proudfoots and Mr. Rogers on there, she flat out had said something about the Sumner County collection and all that already. That's what led me to go look at her analysis.
Nancy Grace has high dollar investigators do her work, and she's good.
She called them out and told them to straighten it up.
Exactly, Ellie. Can you imagine Chris being told he can't be in the house he pays for if Sebastian was there? That was a setup from the start, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to keep paying a mortgage. I can't pay a mortgage, and I can't come home to my own house. Something has to go.
It does. The safety plan doesn't say he can't be there. It just says he can't be left alone with him. He has to be supervised.
Yeah, but in the real world, that means the mother can't never go anywhere unless she takes her fucking kid with her or he goes out of the house.
I don't think Chris would watch him even if there was no.
Well,
plan.
it don't matter, but it don't matter.
Well,
you are telling me on paper what I can do in my house.
Right.
That is not going to fly with Christopher Proudfoot.
No, absolutely
I think we know that. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever thought about, I don't know how much at first I thought this, but I mean, I don't know how much now that I've learned a lot about the case, I would think this, but does anybody ever think that maybe Chris had gone in there and got him without Katie's knowledge?
No.
I don't know about that.
No, because why didn't she notice he didn't leave the state?
Because they got cameras on the inside. That's why they're lying. That's where she fucked up when she told that. When she said, "Oh, I can see him if he goes in the kitchen and sneaks food or food," then you told on yourself right there. Because I'm not going to have cameras inside my house and don't have cameras outside. That makes no sense.
Right.
Exactly.
It's fucked up right there.
There were cameras outside. I just think they
turned them off. Yeah, it turned all the lights off. Exactly.
Well, somebody jammed up the neighbors and ran their footage. Some neighbors have made police reports of cameras missing. Others made report of their cameras running in a loop from 311 to
it could have been a setup. That's why I'm trying to tell you this could be all orchestrated. He could have paid some people. I need you to go mess with these neighbors' cameras. This is going to be sick if we find out other family members knew about the plan, if there was a plan.
Well, other family members knew.
Katie's Navy experience would have put that right in her alleyway.
Well, maybe.
She was communications.
Yeah.
She would have
that's a dangerous situation right there.
Mm-hmm.
If she has some type of knowledge that could tamper with people's cameras without her even going to mess with them.
Right, and they 100% even the video
physically. I mean,
what are they all covering for to begin with?
Wait a minute. Let her finish right quick. Go ahead and finish it.
I mean, you can see that right there, and then it being ran in a loop. But how is this not a criminal investigation of any kind when it's 100%, no matter?
So slow down for a second. When you say running a loop, are you meaning like 3 to 4 doors down?
No, running in a loop is this. They take footage for 2 or 3 minutes prior to when they run this system, and it just shows the same thing over and over for that amount of minutes.
Yeah, it just keeps repeating the film.
Right.
Or it's
been tampered with. It's been tampered.
Because I know when I was going to the laundromat, I'm looking at myself, but I'm not moving on the camera. See what I'm saying? They got a big camera, a big monitor, flat screen, but it doesn't show anybody moving on the footage.
Yeah,
I noticed that somewhere I was doing clothes.
Yeah, what you'd see the same thing from a prior recording, but it just shows the same thing over and over for a certain amount of time, whatever it's set for.
Well, how can somebody mess with that? Wouldn't I have to know your who you got your system through and all that?
Because if they know you and they're your friend and they have close knowledge, they can hack into your shit and reset up your accounts.
They could even straight up take all the Wi-Fi out on a whole street with a jammer. I mean,
but I think they went into somebody's accounts. I think they went into somebody's account.
No, there's no way that they got all them houses and got into.
You don't need all the houses. You only need just a few that have a bullseye view.
Exactly.
Right, and then screw up the other shit to make it look like a bigger circle.
I got to worry about the 2 houses on either side and at least the first 3 in front of me.
Right. But are you going to go in and are you going to make sure and hope that you got everything right on all of those versus one jammer?
Yes, I don't know because I don't know nothing about this, honey. I'm listening to what y'all saying.
Well,
depends on what directions Katie gave them.
Common sense. Katie gave them. Who has the knowledge to do it?
Katie.
Yes. I mean, I would think 101,
I
just
cannot
common
believe
sense
I
tells you
cannot
to
And,
believe
and,
this
and if Chris
conversation
has joined a
is
biker
common
club,
sense.
I can tell you he can take that problem to the club and they can fix it for him.
Well, it'd be no different than what the hell happened out in Oklahoma. That's the bottom line. All you
Yep.
gotta do is open your mouth and see who takes the bait.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think they're covering for something much deeper.
Like what, Bear?
Well,
Damn.
I
Like
think what
doing
set it
big
in
dope deals
motion.
with the bike club, and most bike clubs have meth labs and everything else.
That
Yes,
ain't
they
got nothing to
do.
do with a little boy. That don't have nothing to do with a little boy.
The
He don't
little
know nothing
boy was
about that.
just a problem. He just something happened, and now it's about to bust their whole can of worms open.
Say what?
Yeah, that
I
little
don't
boy,
know about
something
any of
happened.
that.
They beat him or something, and he
That's
died,
too
which wasn't,
much.
but something happened, and now that's happened, they all have to scramble to cover for the whole circle because it's the little boy died, but that's not their ultimate game. If their meth lab, their bike gang goes down, all that money, that's a problem, and that involves a lot more. So the little boy is just collateral damage.
Okay. What me killing this kid got to do with a bike club?
Well,
It
but
doesn't.
Chris is in a bike club now, and they can cover for him, and they can fix problems, and that might be what they're all covering for to begin with.
Oh Lord.
Are any of the sheriff's deputies in that? Do they ever pull them over? Did they actually do anything about them, or are they hellions, or what really happens? I mean, you
Well,
need to
they have
see if
LE, and they just don't reveal the LE. I mean, it's Iron Order MC, but I think that it all started around Sebastian going to testify in his custody hearing. He was supposed to be there this last time. It's been
Well,
rescheduled
somebody
a
in the
couple
chat
times.
say he wasn't supposed to testify, so you don't know what to believe.
I don't know. I know that the court has been now reset.
Not that I'm
Based
arguing
on
either that. I'm just
officer.
saying.
the court
Do you
was
believe? So let's go
reset.
here. Let's go here. Do you all believe a judge would want to hear from that boy child about what went on in the house? Because if he's autistic, that'd be a way for them to say, well, he can't really explain himself good because he's autistic. See where I'm
It
going?
depends on if the judge is involved with the drugs, because out here that is a big
Oh my
problem. The
God.
doctors
Well,
and the
you
judges.
get out for that damn drugs,
No, I'm
man.
telling you though, if a
Jesus.
judge is
Damn.
involved in that, we had a judge that was our friend that was a meth head that got disbarred twice. But in the interim, God knows what he was doing with his cases.
I think the
And
judge wanted to speak to Sebastian after having the knowledge of the CPS cases.
how many times did they talk to Sebastian before?
None.
Sebastian was never
judge-
interviewed?
The judge in New Mexico has never spoke to Sebastian.
Oh, wow.
Well, we're talking about two different places, so that I don't, that wouldn't be.
Yeah, but you think
was
one
coincide.
time somebody would have got a hold of him and just asked him what the fuck.
But they would soup it up. He can't talk. He can't say this. He's not, can make up some shit. He's not coherent. And somebody stupid enough will roll with it and believe it.
He went to school. He's coherent.
But
I
I don't know.
believe
Listen, but I don't know that if I don't talk to the kid. If I'm a judge, I don't know that.
Right.
I'd have to have him come
Right.
in.
Right.
And say, let me see.
Yeah. Even
You understand
Seth
what I'm
has
saying?
acknowledged
It
that
sounds
he
like
was gonna.
CPS dropped the ball entirely.
Well, Seth
Yeah.
even acknowledged that he was going to go to New Mexico and talk to the judge due to the judge's request after learning of the CPS cases. But Seth didn't know it was because of the CPS cases
That's
at
a
the time.
long way.
How do you know he didn't know?
Well, I don't know. That's what he said.
He says he didn't know, but that may be just so nobody blames him.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you all believe he knew that this child was being abused at the Proudfoot?
Yes, I absolutely believe that.
Sugar?
No,
Sugar?
I do not believe that.
I can't hear you, honey.
I don't believe he knew that. I believe he thought maybe they were hard on him with words or etc. But I don't believe they actually knew about any type of physical. No, I do not believe that.
Okay.
You gonna tell me you gonna bring my grandbabies home at 15 years old in diapers, and I ain't gonna say something, let alone have my kids derail you? Come on. Come
But a
on. You
diaper is
cannot be
different
that
than physical
oblivious.
abuse.
That is abuse.
I agree, but it's different than physical.
It is physical abuse.
Well,
He's
see,
sitting
that's why
around.
I was saying, with this information being confirmed by Seth about the diapers, it shows
his
And
awareness.
there's something off with Seth because in the
Yeah.
beginning, before we knew any of this stuff, Seth seemed so evasive and aloof when people were asking him questions. You know, when he first started going to YouTube to talk to Court TV, all these people, everything is, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Now here come, oh, you knew your child was in diapers and you didn't think there was something going on? You have to know
I
there's
never,
something going on with a 15-year-old using the bathroom on
He
themselves.
definitely knew.
I
that
never
he-
had it. I never
Wait,
had an
wait,
attorney that
wait.
would allow me to go on social media. And
Sugar,
I'm really finding that's really hard that he's on any social media without his lawyer next to him because lawyers don't usually allow that.
Sugar, what'd you say?
Well, he definitely knew about him being essayed in California. That's an issue.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if you walk in my house with a fucking diaper on, why am I not going to assume something's going on with my child? Am I not going to ask you why you're wearing it? Am I not going to go call the mother and say, what the hell is going on? How long has he been wearing it?
Exactly.
What's going on at the house? That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, common sense should have told you and added it up.
And that's why I'm wondering if he has done that. That's what I'm going. That's
Well,
what I'm thinking.
beforehand, did he ever go on Facebook and say, damn, my old lady brought the kid over here in a diaper?
Well,
Did he
can't
ever
go on
say
Facebook.
anything?
He can't go on Facebook because he allegedly ain't got no Facebook.
Yeah. I was fixing to say, he says he don't have social media.
And who wants to tell that on Facebook?
Why isn't his lawyer speaking and why is his lawyer letting him speak?
Proudfoot would probably do it, but Seth, I don't see Seth doing that because
I believe he just now obtained an attorney. But to me, all the parents are something, it's just which one is worse than the other. It's just a huge
And that's
mess.
exactly what I was thinking, Sugar. I'm so glad you said that. Could it be they all have played a part in the neglect of Sebastian Rogers? They all have not treated him well from the time he came out the womb, and now everybody's scrambling to see and make themselves better than the other one.
But it
Well, we're looking at one incident at 15. How long did this crap go on? Probably his whole life, off and on.
Well, I'm sure of that.
You're talking about
So you got 50 people for 15 years that never said shit. No wonder they're all scrambling.
Go ahead,
Well,
Sugar.
I wonder how well Katie was able to care for him and take care of him since it said, and nobody disagreed, that Seth was a stay-at-home father with him until.
That's why I'm trying to understand how was that going on if she was in the military. See, I tell you, everybody ain't paying attention.
Yeah, who was taking care of that?
She went in the military at some point. Listen, when did she go into the military? How was she in the military and had a kid? Who kept her kid?
Seth did. She joined the military, I believe, a few months after Sebastian was born.
That's too young to be leaving your baby.
Did not get out.
So she abandoned her baby right away. She was so miserable with being a mom, and she's been miserable ever since.
But she's a young person. But she's a young person.
Yeah, she did not get out of the
military. See, that's the thing about having a kid. You don't know if you can do it until you have it. It's not no course.
Right, but obviously, even a couple months into it, she said, I can't do this.
Well, okay, obviously.
Well, and she stayed in the military all the way until at least past their divorce date, which was 2019.
Oh, that's not that long ago. That's not that long at all. Wait a minute. Slow down. She been divorced since 19.
No, since 2019.
That's what I'm saying. 2019. Yeah. Well, it's just 14.
Right. So I'm saying she left the military shortly after that. I'd have to go look up the exact date.
2021, 22, 23, 24, 5 years.
Right, that's when everything changed. Right, man. That's when
5 years.
That's when things changed and it all went downhill for Seth.
Do you believe he was abusing her and the child as she put in her paperwork for a divorce?
I believe she wasn't being abused, but I definitely believe there was some anger and etc.
Control is abuse.
Let's think about this. How quick is he to anger? And does he probably have anger problems? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Seth and Chris.
I'm talking about Seth.
They're both peaches.
Sugar, do you believe Seth abused her?
I believe, I don't think he abused her, no, but I think that there probably was an incident or two that she used to her advantage. But is Seth an angel? Absolutely not. We can see he has anger issues. But who would not be angry at this point?
Have any of these people had a psych evaluation?
Sugar, who are you speaking of? Christopher?
No, I'm speaking of Seth. He has anger problems as well.
I think he does too. Yeah, I think that because he couldn't really contain himself during the Pascal show. That told me a lot about Seth.
But these
Well,
people are
livid.
grown ups. Do
He's
they?
livid at all the stuff coming out, but see, what he doesn't understand is, I understand that he was angry in the beginning when he started hearing all that shit that Mr. Proudfoot was saying about him, but what he don't think about is once you return the favor, you know, when you're playing tennis, you hit that ball back, well, the ball comes back, and it don't
Right.
stop until somebody bows out.
Yep.
And that's exactly what has happened. And now you can't take none of it back.
Right. I think that's why he got a PR off on several shows at several different points.
Yeah, but it still ain't working because if you didn't finish watching it, Chris don't want no parts of Tony, and basically he ain't trying to hold up his end of the bargain of the olive branch. What's his deal with Tony? I don't know, but Christopher and Katie, they're way out to sea right now.
Yep. Katie's
Yeah,
back
but
home
I
after
do know that
Katie-
whoever killed this child, if Chris is in a bike club and it turns out to be him, that he'll get killed in prison or he'll get killed on the street. That a lot of them do not allow that. Child rape and child murderers. That's it, and that's it. They don't have that. Even shit asses have standards. And he better hope he was not involved in anything with that child because that will come back on him so
Right.
wrong. Those
Why
people
does
he
his
thought
club
were
not
his
out
buddies will
searching?
be his nightmares.
If you know MCs like I know MCs, I'm a past Gypsy MC. I left after Waco, but how and why is his club not there, and why are they not searching? There's something real
Because
wrong
they don't agree with what he did, and
Wants
I'm
to
telling
touch
you, he's going to get judged.
Well,
They
where
will
are Why are
regulate
they
that.
not searching? There's something
Because
wrong.
they won't get involved with something like that.
Alone.
They won't get involved.
They won't come search. You're insane.
They're not going to come search because they think he did it too. They think he did it too. And they're not going to be behind him because he'll bring them down.
Let Sugar finish. Sugar, finish what you're saying.
There's no way. It doesn't matter if they think he's involved or not. He's a member of that club. He's a brother. Therefore, they are going to be there and they answer a brother and call. There's a problem here.
Yeah, there's a problem there. Yeah, there's a problem. Houston, everybody knows but Chris.
What did I say in one of my shorts? I said if you never drank or got high before coming into this case, you should be a full-blown drunk and a drug addict. I'm serious. If you never got high in your life or drank alcohol, you ought to be doing one or two at this point.
Oh gosh, well,
this case is ridiculous. This case,
I'm too old for any of that, so I won't. I might smoke another bowl of weed, but
it's a joke, ladies.
Oh, I know what you mean, but I actually really lived like that for a while, so we all know out here. The res is a little different. We go through a lot out here. There's no police. It's kind of lawless.
Says, not sure about this biker club stuff. I heard CP and KP aren't going Saturday. Going where, Tina?
Oh, to the
Vigil
biker run thing. They're evidently run. Evidently, it's like everybody's meeting at 4, kickstands up at 5, and then riding over to there.
Oh, a poker run. How beautiful.
It is kind of like a poker run.
Well, how about running right over there to that damn lake they keep talking about? Run over there.
No, it'll go somewhere. It'll go like in a circle. They'll make several stops. Like it'll stop at different bars. They'll have different things, and they gather chips. And there's an end game to it, like whoever. But it's just bullshit. And
I'm talking about running. I'm talking about running in the lake. And come on, you guys, you know exactly what the hell.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I'm talking about running the lake.
But it's not his club putting it on, and it's a friendly club.
Oh Lord, I am so befuddled at this moment.
I don't know how friendly it is. You know, we're HA, and if you go on YouTube or Facebook, you look at all the Hell's Angel shit you can like, and I know personally what they do.
Sugar, how do you feel about the PIs not working anymore? He wouldn't tell Pascal if he's hired new PIs. How do you feel about that?
Something's up there.
I feel like anytime nobody stays on board, that's another huge red flag. Like
I thought that was.
Seems like
nobody's going with his direction. Nobody's going with his direction the way he made it seem.
It's huge.
Right, but it seems like nobody stays on. That's what I said. I feel like this is like a 5-ring circus, and it just depends on the day how many events are going on. You know, how many sideshows. Mm-hmm. It's insane.
How do you feel about Robin not telling him that the boy told grandma that he was being abused? How do you feel about that, Sugar?
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I understand her point, but also at the same point, she knew Chris, and therefore I have to fault her tremendously because knowing him and the anger and what he may be capable of.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, you need to finish watching that Pascal show because they're downplaying it and they said they never talked to her about what she said on social
Well, she
media.
said she never told.
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. They're saying in the show, sweetheart, that they have not even talked to her, period, about what she has said. Like, you know, don't you go to your mother and say, hey, let's talk about what was said.
Right.
You know, why did you tell me what happened? I'm not mad at you, but I don't see how you could not be mad at your own parent. But still, I feel like there's some blame with him as well because he's the father. It's just a stepping stone, blame game. You are the parent, so you should be knowing what's going on with your child anyway, even if they ain't telling you every damn thing.
Are you talking about when Tony said they're allowed drive-by bombs?
Just all of that. Just all of him just saying, we're not going to blame the grandmother because she's emotional, blah, blah, blah. But he is still the parent. He was getting his kid. It's not like he's in New Mexico or California and somebody called and said, hey, I just want to tell you the child's missing. That's different. But you ain't going to know what's going on because you can't see. You're picking him up.
Remember when Seth said that that he got onto Sebastian and sent him back and told him he needed to buckle down and do better at school, and sent him back.
Yeah, the monster's passing him around.
Seth said that he could have had him way earlier, but he wanted him to finish this year of school, and he sent him back and told Sebastian to do better, this, that, and the other. So therefore, he could have had Sebastian already.
Well, that's why
nobody wanted that child. They couldn't get rid of him quick enough.
I just don't think, just from the way Seth acted in the beginning of his commentary coming out to the public, and he couldn't answer anything. I think he has been playing a game like he don't know what the fuck's been going on with his son because he doesn't really want to tell us the whole truth because he finally went off on court TV about the child molestation. So that lets you know he did know stuff about the child.
Why didn't his attorney speak to court TV and not him?
Something is wrong. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Why didn't his attorney speak to court TV?
It's just I don't know how or why everybody else
because they're not on the same page, Bear.
Yeah,
that's why you didn't see them talking to the news together. Don't you talk to the news together? Riley Strang, he was grown missing. All his parents came together to speak.
Yeah, and the attorney wouldn't let him speak to the media without him.
Well, that's because everybody's lying or hiding or telling half truths. And
the attorney would not let him get involved being an attorney. He'd make him stay out of it if he has an attorney. And I say if because I've never seen an attorney let their client roll like that.
He can't keep anybody long enough to have anything.
Oh yeah, the private eyes, the dog trainers. What happened to the dog trainers? It's just problem with everybody. It's everybody else's problem, not his.
But what about the two PIs that he had prior to these? Who are they and why are they gone?
Yeah. See, that's why
everybody's bailing.
There were PIs on it that I don't even think we knew about because that was mentioned too in the Pascal show. So what happened to those original PIs?
They thought this case stinks too.
Everybody leaves and abandons. And what about all this threatening, of people as they search?
I think that's some Chris stuff. That's the shit that happened in the
beginning. That's where I think the MC could.
That's where I think it's coming from too. But if you guys know that the actor is always the one right there.
That was a rumor that somebody was taking the flyers down, and I thought, who would take flyers down? That is so ignorant.
I don't know, but if you saw Chris, you and I both know anybody with any kind of common sense. If they saw Chris taking down flyers, I would have videoed him and I would have posted it everywhere. Come on.
Yeah, but Chris is not the one who took them down. He had somebody else do that.
Right.
He didn't do that.
Right, but if somebody saw
his minions.
Why are they not videoing or getting proof for this?
Because you're doing it at night. You're doing it when people are asleep.
And they're biker prospects.
You're not going to do it during the day unless it's on. Listen. You're not going to do it during the day unless it's on your property. It's private property. I can take it down.
Yeah, I get that now that you said that. I didn't even think about that because it was said that he took him down. Somebody took him down out of a store. I called that store. And the store said, yeah, somebody did come in and take him down, but they said he had been found.
Oh, my God.
How sick. Well, didn't that store have whoever came in on video?
Right.
Well, yeah. But Ellie don't care this or that. That's not minute thing.
Oh, yes. Just a piece of paper. Just a piece of paper.
Yeah. And there's no law against taking down paper. I mean, they got bigger fish to fry, but I don't think they're frying anything.
I don't either, because why wouldn't they want to see the footage of who came in and took those down and said the
Yeah, I
child
think I
was
would have said.
found?
I think I would have looked at the footage and said to the police, "Hey, this is my store. I want the flyers up. Is the boy found or not?" And once the police told me he's still missing, then I said, "Hey, then you need to go find this person because they came here and took down this property, and this is my damn store."
And they told me the child was found, and maybe they got him in his bathtub because this guy came in and took down the flyers and said that.
Oh my God!
Why in the hell would he? That's ridiculous, and that should have been followed up immediately.
Tina, what do you mean? Who would do that for him? What do you mean? Who would do it for him? The same people that was intimidating the damn searchers.
You have to understand, this is a bike club with prospects. He's a full-fledged member now.
I don't
He's
even
gonna have little
think it's
minions
even
under
about
him.
the. I don't even think it's about the bike club. All you have to do is have somebody that likes you. It don't have to be about the bike
that is
club.
a good old boy town.
It have to be
Oh
your
yeah.
friends,
Oh
family
yeah.
members. Hey, go take those flyers down. Hey, he's making us look bad. Doesn't have to be anybody in the biker club.
Nobody in America doubts it's what it is.
Well, I
We
mean,
all know.
Terry and his parents were chasing that one YouTuber JLR just for.
But that's what I'm
driving by.
saying. This is even before we even knew about it. I just found out about the biker club till just now. You all talking about it. So the flyers were taken down long before
Right.
mention of the bike club.
Yeah, I don't know how much the bike club has in it. My only question with them is I know
If he's in a bike club and is a full-fledged member, that's like his second wife.
Yeah. First wife. What are you talking about? Second?
Yeah, actually, really, yeah. And do you think those boys don't kiss ass, suck up, and the good old boy club? Shit.
I'm just saying he's known to still be going.
Well,
to,
Ellie says we don't know he's a MC.
Oh, absolutely. Google it.
Hello, what is true? Say what?
Google it.
I don't know. I don't know what y'all talking about. What is an MC? Just say it.
Motorcycle club.
MC is motorcycle club, just like Hell's
Jesus
Angels MC.
Christ.
Hell's Angels Motorcycle Club.
Well,
yeah, I found that on Google. I gave me the dates of Proudfoot.
so that's what somebody is saying in the chat. How do you even know he's in a motorcycle?
Yeah, but he could have been a prospect for 4 years till they brought him in, or a year or two. So it's been going on for a while, and ever since, and they just got divorced. And
everybody,
so yeah.
Where are you getting the information that he's in a club? Oh my God.
Google it. You can Google it. But most questions you have, if you go into like Facebook and go to that little AI system they have nowadays,
I hate that damn fucking meta thing. Ugh,
yeah, it'll come up with all the answers for you because see, it knows how to.
It don't come up with nothing when I ask it. Sorry, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
All day long.
Well, listen. Do you have proof he's in a motorcycle club? That's all I'm asking everybody.
Yes. Yes.
What is the name? What is the name of the club?
Iron Order MC.
Iron Order
MC.
Okay. Ellie says MC members don't go on YouTube and act a damn fool. Okay.
This one is.
Tina says, I thought MCs are about, hold on, everybody. I thought MCs about protecting children. Well,
absolutely. Should be 100%.
Well, they
should be 50 years ago it was until they got their fingers in drugs and human trafficking and theft and all that shit.
Right. That's where you need to go stop it right
there.
Depending on the members and the people, because you can't account for what everybody's doing in a club. That's like any business.
Yeah. I was a member of Gypsy MC for a long, long time until Waco happened here in Texas. And I decided my freedom is not worth that.
He's just a wholesome, great guy, and it just happens he belongs to that club.
Sugar, what you say? You a part of what?
Gypsy MC. It's a very family club, very like very kid friendly, very everything. A matter of fact, Gypsy MCs have junior member, which are the kids.
Well, I don't think children. After what Chris has said and everything that's been said, right? But I don't think Chris wants to come on with this wholesome crap.
And everybody's
about
not
that. We can see what goes on in their lives.
Clubs. Let me make that clear. Everybody's not out trying to commit crimes. That's in
no. We even have Christian clubs, but none of those Christian people are missing their children.
I don't know. Regardless of outlaw or not. An MC is a brotherhood, and for them not to be searching for
what is true? You're new into this chat. Would you like to come up on the panel and give your opinion? Since you, what are you trying to say? We don't know if a crime happened. Well, I know the child ain't still walking around out in the wilderness. Feel free to hit the link.
Something happened when you just started A at that house with the neighbor's footage. Several.
Mm. Well,
All these coincidences don't like.
There is no such thing as a coincidence.
Lord have mercy. Do you think they should continue searching for the boy?
Searching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he needs to be buried properly.
Okay.
You mean for his body parts? Go look at the Mark Redwine case. Yeah, keep searching.
What do you all think happened between the PIs, Chloe, Heather, and Seth? Because he talks around as the subject about they didn't have the same criteria that he wanted. They were
Somebody paid him off.
Listen. They were too worried about Tony coming on board, and this was right around the time when that picture came out in North Carolina. What do you think is the real truth why these women stepped down?
Somebody paid him
Somebody got
off.
over the target.
Say what?
Somebody got over the target.
Explain, sweetheart.
I think they were figuring it out.
Yeah, but somebody paid him off to go away and said, "You've done
Now,
enough."
Gigi
if you're
says
paid
Chloe
off,
doesn't like Tony. Okay.
Chloe is searching on her own without being paid.
Okay. Well, he said he had
Bless
problems
her
with
heart.
not telling him everything with leads and things, not giving him all the information. Those were the problems he
That's
had.
what happens when you're a suspect. They don't come to you and tell you shit.
Well, his PI should tell him this, that, and the other, but there's one common denominator here, even in that situation. It's Seth. And there's no way everybody's bad and he's good.
Everyone?
There's no way that everybody else is wrong and he's right.
Okay.
Everybody
Well, he
that's
feels
around
like
him.
he wanted things done a certain way. Tony asked him before doing things. He laid out a few little synopses of they weren't doing what he wanted them to do, that they were, I guess, doing their own direction, weren't following leads, weren't checking up on leads. That was his complaint.
Okay, what about the two prior to that?
I don't know.
But and now we're at the point, I heard Tony say that no, he's only in charge of PR, this, that, and the other. He's supposed to be getting him on these big shows and to get off the internet, but he's on the internet and I don't hear any.
Why would he want to do all that if he's not guilty?
Yeah,
he's home grieving.
Let Sugar finish. Sugar, say what?
Who's investigating and who's actually finding Sebastian?
Well, that's the whole point. A PR is not supposed to be an investigator.
Right,
Investigator ain't supposed to be PR. That's why he has separate people doing separate things.
He's not supposed to interfere with the investigation either.
So let me go back to work and let me just get a PR person and nobody actually find out about Sebastian. Great plan.
Well, I think he's hired some PIs, but he didn't tell it on the show last night because he
hired a PR person.
Yeah. Pascal asked him about, do you have some? And he said, I'm not going to answer. And then I saw Tony tap his left shoulder with his fingers. So basically, he's telling him to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So he's possibly hired some more people.
Where's the attorney? If he had a real attorney, the attorney would do that.
I don't know. It seems awful odd, though.
Why would that be your attorney's job to find you investigators?
The attorney would have his own investigators. Attorneys have that.
That's an assumption.
Right. That's true. That's an assumption.
What?
A lawyer has enough to do doing what he does.
Right. And I worked for a U.S. District Court judge for 16 years who was an attorney who had 5 private investigators working for him.
Being an attorney and holding a bar license does not require having PIs on board.
Then you're not a good attorney and you need to move on to one that actually has the equipment and tools to work with you.
Well, Gigi, that's what Seth made mention in this interview, whatever, that he's starting over, clean slate. That's why it's in the title of my video at the end. New eyes, fresh eyes, new people come in to work. So we'll see what happens. New PIs, new searchers, new equipment.
Just keep adding stuff to the mix until it's so convoluted there's no end to it.
Yes.
Think about Seth's
Black-haired chick. The case is very frustrating.
What did y'all think about his conclusion of the sleep medicine?
Well, I think it's interesting that I asked those questions on my polls about Nancy Grace apologizing, but will Nancy apologize publicly? Will Nancy come on the live stream and say to everyone?
I think Nancy did that on purpose.
I probably did because it's her show.
Because
it's her show.
Rodeo.
It's her show.
Right, but I
Yeah.
think she knows what she's doing, and this is not her first rodeo. She did
It's
that
called
for a reason.
poking the bear.
Exactly.
Bait.
Uh-huh.
It's bait.
But
Hopefully
I get
somebody
it.
eats
He
it.
doesn't want to. He didn't want to poke the bear over there in Mississippi because he's trying to get these people to come together. He possibly wants to get more information. It's really a ploy. I need them by me so I can see what the fuck they're doing. Maybe they'll slip up and tell me something. I get that. If
Why
that's
are we
That's
the
what I
gonna
told you.
motivation.
The actor is always buzzing on the scene.
Tennessee is a one-party record state. Why are we doing all this? If we wanted to know something, why aren't we recording? Why aren't we paying $1.99 to get?
Well, I want to know who released the tape, who released the audio, because he says during this conversation that they had the tape for 8 or 9 days, the recording. So who released the audio about what
I believe Seth
was
did.
said between Christopher and that girl?
I believe
what?
Seth did for an excuse to fire him. You think he's gonna come out
Wow.
here and say I did it?
I'm just saying,
No.
but why would you fire
you
her
might
when
be
she,
right.
she was just saying, well, I don't think this other lady did that. That's not like her to do that. She wasn't saying anything bad in the audio.
Right.
Interesting.
Just more convoluted crap. Pour more stuff in there.
Oh, Lord. I don't know where to go with this. 1,000 notes from all that was said in my head is just like,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
over
It just
this.
seems like every time anybody
I'm
starts getting
sick of this
close or
nonsense. I'm so sick of this nonsense.
figuring things out, it's always a new show and a
And
new
how many
sidebar.
more cases in America are going like this right now? How
Oh,
many?
I don't know. When you speak of that, I want to know how many people are barefoot and going missing. This seems like a lot. Even
Well,
Yeah, and
he
how
mentioned that,
many,
and he also
it's
mentioned
just
that
so
during
weird.
the show, 400 people, 400 children missing out of Middle Tennessee. He wants policies changed. Policies like what? Policies start with people themselves.
Yep.
You got an Amber Alert. We got alerts.
You
to
mean
let us
like
know.
parenting
We
policies
got
or like
alerts. We got alerts right now in Tennessee. I get alerts if somebody older is missing. I get alert if a child is missing. The point is, it starts at home. It starts with breathing.
exactly parent policy?
It starts with a mindset. Why is the child running away? A child is running away for one or two reasons or both. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you're abusing the child to make the child run away. That's a whole nother situation. Then you got to worry about the sadists, the pedophiles. That's a whole nother situation. Now you're talking about mental health. You beat
Did
your
they
child,
lock
abusing
the
your
child
child.
out?
That's
Did they ever lock the child out?
They're
So
not locking him out. He has the code.
Everything starts with at home and proper rearing.
The child was locked out outside?
Mental
How?
care.
No.
Those
Okay.
are the policies.
They can't
People
lock
need
him
to
out when
get
he knows
help.
the code to the door.
People need to get help. Y'all just talking. The hell are y'all talking about now?
He's
Oh,
in
she said they
diapers, but
locked
he
him out. I
knows
said,
the
no, they
code
didn't.
to the door.
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with this picture? The child knows the code to the door, but he's in diapers and he can't talk and he can't function, but he knows the code to the door.
I
Somebody's
know.
only letting that child know what they want him to know. They're keeping him from anything, and that's what the hell. He knows the code to the door. If he was as dysfunctional as they keep talking about him, like he's some kind of bug in a jar, that child wouldn't have an idea that barely there was a door, let alone the code.
Well, maybe that's the narrative they're trying to spin, because some YouTuber talked to some girls the other day and they said he took regular classes.
I was just fixing to say that.
See? I
Yeah.
told you, Queen, he would have been able to function. When she got that divorce and ended up with Chris, that's when it all went downhill and has been spiraling ever since.
Well, I only have one other theory. The teachers and etc. are reporting to CPS and getting no results and seeing that nothing's happening. What if somebody finally decided that this was going to happen if they didn't do something and they stepped in and they have him?
Is one of the club members' wives a CPS worker?
Well, that's
You
a
should
hell
look
of
that up.
a sugar.
Look
That's
that
a hell
up.
of a risk
Somebody
to
is.
go kidnap a kid. That's a hell of a risk. So who's
No,
taking
not,
care?
I mean,
Listen, this is why I keep telling you about that theory of somebody kidnapping him. Somebody's got to be taking care of him 24 hours a day in order to kidnap him or lure him out.
they didn't
Yeah, but-
kidnap him.
I mean, even
Whoever
Seth
it
said
is, whomever.
he watched himself after school. Seth was going to have him homeschooling and still working.
Then why the hell was
And
he
that's
in
another thing I want
diapers?
to talk about too. There couldn't have been too much wrong with him because Seth had to work a job. So who was
Thank
watching
you.
him when he stayed with Seth? Bingo card. I tell you, don't nobody pay attention to nothing.
He stayed by
No,
himself
I am
after
paying
school.
attention
She
on
just
my
said.
job.
Exactly. He stayed by himself at Seth. Say it again, Queen. He stayed by himself. So how severe is the autism? This is what I've been asking all fucking day.
They beat him in the head and it deteriorated and he ended up in
Stop
diapers.
it. Bear, please. Please stop. Just stop that now. Come on. We already know the boy missing. Jesus Christ.
I don't think the boy is still here.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
God bless that child. I don't think he's here, and I think we need to get to these monsters with quickness. The longer they spin around, the worse it's going to be.
You've been talking shit on my live for about an hour. Maybe we'll take your ass down there to damn Weston's.
No, I'm just saying these people did this.
And let you handle Katie Proudfoot and Christopher.
No. Well, yeah, I'll go. I'll get in there with her, and yeah, then I'll go. I'm telling you, this is a baby. This is a damn child.
Listen, lock the camper door. You can hear it trying to break the damn windows out. Help me.
No, you poor thing. Come on in. We're going to barbecue. We're going to barbecue.
I'm trying to look at my notes I have here, and then also.
If I just stuck a pole up her ass and put her on 2 Y spits and had somebody turn it, I could roast her at 25 yards with a flamethrower.
Oh my Lord.
This is a child. Where is this child?
You are wild.
Is it still a child? Is it in pieces? Where is this baby? Is he wadded up in a ball in a tarp? Where is this child?
He's out there in the wilderness somewhere. I hate to say it, but that's what I believe. He's out there in the wilderness.
Well, and if you remember, they said they talked on the phone for 3 hours, didn't get off till midnight. But yet, Chris is gonna go to work 2 hours early at 5 a.m. when he don't need to be there till 7.
You don't have no proof. You have no proof they sat on the phone for that. See, this is what I'm
saying. And even if the phone lines were open, it doesn't mean he didn't leave his phone behind and leave the phone line open.
I don't believe nothing that they have said. The only thing he's probably told the truth is the boy wore diapers. Other than that, phone calls, this and that, you have no proof that anybody sat on the phone for 3 hours. You have no proof of nothing, because if these people have done what I think they have done, there is no way they have told you the truth about what happened that night. You don't even have proof.
Wow.
I agree with you.
I guess he left the restaurant because he said he saw the damn footage.
What date was that? What date did he leave the restaurant?
The 25th is on a Sunday.
I'm just saying it doesn't make any sense to go to work 2 hours early when that's not your normal habit.
What do you mean, sugar?
Chris was at work at 5:15 when he didn't have to be there till 7.
Setting up an alibi.
Well, what's your point?
Was he setting up an alibi?
Well, that's the whole point I'm trying to make, is that out of sight is out of mind. We don't live there. We don't know these people. We don't know what they have said to the news. And then the revamped versions of a thud and rewording conversations. And this is the very reason why I told everybody. I found something else interesting. Also, I got off of AB's channel. The fact that when she was outside the morning he was allegedly gone. Now listen to me carefully. It was a script. Somebody drives by and say, "What's going on?" And you start talking about, "Oh, I put him to bed at such and such time." And that's not how you would tell a story if your child was missing. The only thing you're going to tell your neighbor, "I don't know, I got up to wake him up for school and he was gone." You're not getting ready to role play what the fuck you did the night before. Who does that?
Amen.
Nobody does
that.
That.
Like saying he might be in the kitchen. I went to go see if he was in the kitchen.
That is not what you would tell somebody if your child was missing. You're not getting ready to go back 15, 16 hours ago or what you were doing before they went to bed. You're not going to sit there and say, "Well, he took a shower. Then he went and got under the covers. Then he said, 'Night, night, mommy, love you, da 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 da.' Then I heard a thud. Then I got up." No. That's not what you tell somebody if you're standing outside and the police are out there and I drive by and say, "Oh my God, is everything okay?" You're just going to say, "Oh my God, my child's missing. I don't know where he is. Did you see anything? Did you see any suspicious cars?" That's what you would be saying.
Amen.
That's what you would be saying. It's
Amen.
a script.
Yep.
I think the child went missing before they said he went missing.
She read
that child did not go missing on the 7th. The child went missing before.
Possibly. But then that means Seth is lying that he didn't see the child walk out from the steakhouse then.
Well, I think he did because they showed him video footage. But how come they said that the prosecutor showed him in that room? Why would the prosecutor show something odd?
Because that's who you're going to take to start your case. Ding, ding,
But
ding.
there's no criminal
Yeah.
investigation. Why would there be a
You're not
prosecutor?
listening. You're not listening.
I
I'm going
heard
to say
you.
it again. That's
I
who
got
you
it.
go to when you have something to
Yeah.
start a case.
Yeah.
Who would be stupid enough to believe there's not a
If you
criminal
go, let me tell you something.
investigation in this?
Once a detective, sheriff, speaks to the district attorney, it's already criminal. Because
Yep.
you have no reason to go talk to the district attorney until you have something. And the district
Right.
attorney would tell you. You hear it all the time in the movies. Come back when you have something.
Yep.
Right.
Come back when you have something.
Do y'all believe that they took lie detector tests?
No, not
Probably.
all of them.
I don't know if I believe
Not
that.
all of them.
No, I don't believe that.
No, I don't either.
Not all of them. I
And
think they
that's
had a
another
couple
thing with
representatives.
I was thinking about the video I watched tonight where this guy was driving by, the neighborhood, and I was looking at all the nice little houses and, just thinking about what you don't know that went on in their house, what you don't know about the other neighbors, how they're living. Then I was thinking about what Seth said about his rent went up $500. So then I started thinking, well, hell, he's struggling then. And so then I started just thinking, his life is totally different than the Proudfoot's life. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
They're living
But, I mean-
good. They're driving big boy trucks and got a nice house. It's well manicured. It's a great neighborhood. It's opposite of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, if you get my drift.
Hey,
He's still
That's the
getting
whole
cash.
point. You don't know people.
He's still even getting donations on his Cash App. But that's another thing with Seth and Light.
Yeah, I want to know about the Cash App too, because he didn't mention the Cash App on Pascal's show. They talked about everything else, trying to do everything legally so people, won't be complaining about where the money's going. I don't have a problem with, somebody donating to him when he was out here on the ground because it was just him. So I don't have a problem with that. But I was wondering if his friend was still doing the Cash App because I thought that would start problems because are you going to check in with your friend? Listen, are you going to check in with your friend every day to see how much money somebody is sending? Who's going to be doing that?
nobody.
Nobody. Mm-hmm.
But why aren't all these people looking for this kid? They know where this child is at and not on this planet. They've hired PR. They're running around, going to the prosecutor. Get your asses out in the woods on horseback with dogs.
Girl, now you talking to yourself.
It's just impossible for me to
Nothing
believe.
of it adds up. I mean, and Seth went to go take his lie detector test. I don't care who or what you are. You know darn well they gave him directions prior, and it would have been being under the influence of nothing. No medicine, no this, no that. And he still chose to do it. Nothing adds up. Nobody, I don't know. It's just
Now
all
say
wrong.
that again. Say what now? Slow down. Y'all talking too fast.
Say that over.
They would have gave him directions when he went to go take that lie detector test prior. Don't be under the influence of alcohol, medicine, this, that.
Oh yeah, high blood pressure medicine.
Right, yeah.
He's very upset. So really, he really ain't been in no shape to take no polygraph because he's been too wired up, Seth.
Right. But he
Right.
still went
Yeah.
under the influence of medication.
Well, he probably needs some medicine, honey. You don't know what's wrong with him.
That
he's
probably
taking it for
affected
his,
the outcome of his polygraph as well.
Shoulder pain or whatever.
Yeah, he's in pain. You can't take that, and you don't pain medicine.
Right, but if they tell you not to take it and you still show up and have taken it,
Well, you can
That's
see
the
something wrong with his arm, sweetheart. He's winding it around every
Right.
time he does a damn interview.
but then you just say, I can't take it because I have to take my medicine instead of wasting somebody's time and money that's trying to help you.
Well, I guess.
Yeah, but that it
Or
just
even do the
invalidates
pain
his.
for-
It invalidates the test. Then that's not accurate that he passed.
First one, he fell asleep.
Yeah.
I
Penny.
bet he took enough meds to
He
pass it and fall
He
asleep.
told her to stop the GoFundMe because he didn't want any more problems. They already got a bank problem with somebody setting up some type of account that he didn't know anything about because he mentioned that months ago. So see, that's why you have to be careful when people go missing because people will start
Well, the
setting up
GoFundMe was by
Listen,
his sister.
but what I'm saying is the bank account, they don't know who did that. The thing is, when people go missing, this is when croonies come out. They start setting up GoFundMes,
Yep.
fake GoFundMes, cousins, sisters, brothers start setting them
Oh
up.
yeah, somebody that just knew you in high school.
And then you don't know who to donate to because like him, he's all over the place. He's on the ground. He's over here. He did need help. I'm going to admit that. He did
Yeah,
need
he
help.
did.
And then
Absolutely.
somebody crooked went and tried to set up something with the bank. He had to get a lawyer for that, to get that mess straightened out. He's got a lot on his plate. So I do
The
feel sorry for
GoFundMe
him
should have
to
been
that degree.
fine
Say
under
what?
his sister.
What?
His sister's the one that did the GoFundMe for him.
Yeah, but when I talk about the GoFundMe, I'm talking about the person
Oh.
who went and maliciously did the stuff with the bank.
Oh.
Because he talked about that months ago, and now he's still talking about that. So he's got to get that disbanded. He's just got a lot going on. This is why you have to have people you can trust in a situation like this. And this is when the croonies come out, because they know you can't have eyes in the back of your head.
But what?
Queen, even when you get an
everybody that
attorney
knows-
to do that, sometimes they're crooked.
But damn, Bear, you got to trust somebody.
Yeah,
But-
but I mean, you should at least do that so it's documented.
He works as a jailer, over there in Davidson County. Well, why has nobody?
But I don't
Who
understand
does?
why Crime Stoppers didn't do a reward. Crime Stoppers is legit. So to
Who-
me, Crime Stoppers should have done a reward. You wouldn't even have to touch that. That would be for whoever got information about the child. So I'm trying to understand why Crime Stoppers don't have a reward for him, or do they?
They don't, though.
But why not? Why don't they have
I
a
don't
reward
know.
for him?
I
That
just
is
wonder
weird.
why there's never any personal friends, personal family.
The only
anything of
reason
that
why
nature.
Crime Stoppers would not have a reward is if police then came to you and told you that he ain't breathing.
Why ain't the
We got
Proudfoots put up
information
a
that he ain't
reward,
alive.
Queen?
Like I could think of, huh?
Why ain't the Proudfoots put up a reward, Queen?
I ain't
A lot
got
of
to put up
families
nothing
do
that
that.
I got lost. You think I'm gonna put up money for something I lost? That's why they
Shoot,
weren't
I'm not
looking.
even looking for something.
That's why I ain't even
lost
looking.
'cause I
Yeah,
ain't
I'm not
lost it.
looking.
Yeah.
I'm not setting up a reward.
It ain't lost. They know where that child
I
is.
done packed up. I done went out of town with my husband to do what? This is how stupid Katie is. You're gonna leave knowing your child is missing and knowing people gonna start talking and gossiping about you. You get on the Nancy Gray show and Nancy came out and asked her, and then she told her why. Nancy asked her, "Well, why? Why would you leave?" "Oh, I went with my husband." That's not no answer. You're not helping Christopher work no fucking crane,
Speaking of Katie,
He
she
did not
appeared
need
back
you down
home
there.
today.
because you've been up here
Back-
living the whole time with your son, so he did not need you down there.
Well, she's back home. She just showed up.
I
today.
heard that. I
Yeah,
saw-
remember Casey
video.
Anthony?
I don't
Yes,
know.
Remember
Tina.
Casey Anthony?
Yeah, hit the link.
It
You wanna
seems
come on
like
up?
that she wouldn't go back to work going into people's homes. Like she wouldn't be safe doing that.
She didn't want to stay at that house because all that shit was coming. Cajun Navy was on their way. I pay attention to everything. I don't
thought
get
they
into all
called
that
Cajun
gossip
Navy.
and he said, she said shit with Christopher Proudfoot. But as soon as Cajun Navy said they were on their way, poof, she disappeared. She disappeared. She did not want nobody coming around that house, bothering her, banging on the door. Hey, you want to come search? Hey, you want to help us? Hell no, I don't want to help you. I got him gone. I don't want to help you. Find him, fuck. I know where he's at.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
So the reward, I ain't going to set up a reward when I already know I'm the one that got him gone.
Yeah. But why are they not allowing dogs to search? That's a big red flag.
Who's not allowing the dogs to search?
Chris and Katie, they said no dogs could even go on their property.
That's what I was telling you. That's what I was telling you. I kept asking about them dogs.
Out. Hello, Tina C. Where you calling from?
I am in South Texas.
South Texas. What you got to
Oh.
say about all this? Did you watch the Pascal show, sweetheart?
Yeah, I've been watching
All right, I'm
everything
gonna jump
on
off
this.
and let Tina.
All
go
right,
on.
thank you,
Y'all have a
sugar.
good evening.
Thank you, sugar. Okay, sugar. Barry, you got anything else you want to say?
No, hon. I'm going to
Okay.
run off. I'm going
Okay,
to take
thank
off.
you so much.
I love you and
Okay.
thank you.
I love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right, Tina C, what you got for me?
I've been watching this entire thing. I don't know, man. It's like, this has made me so crazy. I mean, obviously, I feel like Katie, is the last person. I mean, if he was wearing shoes, I could see maybe him taking off, but like, how far can you go with no shoes?
Mhm.
I mean, think about your feet.
Unless you're running for your life, what I had
Well,
said to
that's
somebody
true.
before, if you're attacking me, I ain't worried about ants. I ain't thinking about ants. You understand what I'm saying? If it's an altercation, that's not what you're thinking. If you're trying to preserve your life,
absolutely.
you're going to try to save your life.
Right. I agree with that.
So let me ask you
Yeah.
something, Tina. What happened to Sebastian Rogers?
Well, I wish I knew. I look at it this way, okay? There's something
Uh,
that
give me
happened
your- Give me your gut, baby. Give me your gut.
okay, I think it has something to do with the mother, okay? If it's true that Chris really does have an alibi, he really was, far away, whatever. I think it has something to do with the mother. If it's not that, then I know they say that he wasn't allowed to get on the internet and this and that, but kids,
Yeah.
they find a way.
Yeah, he's not
So-
dumb. I don't think he's dumb if he's taking regular courses in school, if that's true.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those. I mean, I think that he was maybe talking to somebody, made a friend. Maybe it's unfortunate if it's somebody that, you know, could have been bad for him, and he's been staying with them or they did something to him. So those are my only two that I can.
Who did something to him?
If whoever, like if he was talking to somebody, but even that, you would think he would still take.
Well, let me ask you that. Do you believe this could be a prank gone bad by some students?
Oh gosh, that would be awful.
Did it ever cross your mind?
Oh, everything has crossed my mind. I mean,
Okay.
I lay in bed at night just trying to figure out what happened to this kid.
Okay. Have you heard this latest gossip about shadows in the windows from doorbell cameras, lights flashing on and off?
I just recently seen that. Yep.
Give me your opinion.
Well, I think there's I think there's some stuff that we don't know, you know,
Okay.
obviously that, you know, they're not going to tell us,
Okay.
but I don't think it's enough for them to,
You
you
believe
know.
the neighbors though, but I'm saying, do you believe the neighbors' account of lights flashing, somebody in the front room, dining room? Do you believe this neighbor's account from their doorbell camera?
Yeah, I do.
Do you believe he walked to the trash can that night in the dark?
From what I understand, Seth said he did see that, but he said he cannot say for sure that was his son.
Okay,
So,
that's my point. So imagine this. If you can't tell that's your son walking out, how in the world there's no evidence of him walking out to leave the house? They won't.
yeah, I mean.
Because it can't be both. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The lights are dark. She said the house was dark. Nobody could tell that's a child walking out. Then where's the evidence that he ever walked out after that to leave?
Mm-hmm.
Because you would still see a figure come out, correct?
That's
So what's the difference between him emptying the trash and you could see a figure versus 2 a.m, 3 a.m, 5 a.m?
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. They're the same thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just thinking that, you know, like I said, I think they got some, I mean, like, think about it. They went to the landfill and I feel like something made them go and look, you know, they didn't find anything, but something made them, you know, go look.
Of course. They don't go to the landfill for nothing, and everybody knows that.
Yeah. So I feel like they got something, but maybe not enough. And,
right. Exactly.
You know, but I don't.
Do you believe the neighbor's account of seeing the child in the garage sleeping?
I didn't hear that they seen him sleeping. I heard that they heard about it because
however it went. I don't know why.
That does make sense because if you think about it, when Chris was one of his interviews, whenever that was brought up about how come he had a mattress in the garage and blah blah blah, you can just tell he really didn't want to talk about it. Just like the CPS report, he did not want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
you believe the child was sleeping in the garage?
I don't know if he was all the time. I think that might have been punishment at times when he wet the bed.
So let's talk about the diaper situation. Why do you think the child was wearing a diaper?
That could be from abuse. That could be from, I mean, who knows? But I will say this. Seth said that he never wore them around him. Well, that's the reason I'm against the dad is because if you knew.
Well, I think he said, I told him not to go take them off and put boxers on.
Right. He said he'd never had accidents with him.
Okay, so let's go here though. Do you believe Seth has downplayed actually telling the world he knew something was off with his child in the Proudfoots and he didn't do a damn thing about it?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I feel like because he said whenever he had to go back home after spending the weekend with, you know, his dad.
He didn't want to go back home. They said he did. Seth said he didn't want to go home is what he told Court TV.
Right, but he also said that he had to be back in diapers. I mean, why, as a dad, did you not confront them about this situation?
Thank you. I'm glad you said that because those are the questions I've asked on my polls on my channel. You see your child in a diaper. Aren't you going to ask the child why you in it, why you wearing it, how long you been wearing it, what's going on? Okay, I got to call Katie and Chris see what the hell's going on.
Yep. I mean, if it was my kid, it would be more than that. We'd have to sit down and find out why he did not want to come back home.
Let's black folk talk. It's on and popping.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand
Hey,
why.
guess what? It's about to be some Holyfield up in here. What the hell you mean he wearing a diaper? Wait a minute. We coming out, look, we coming out, ding! We about to start fighting up in here. Or as black folks love to say, it's about to be some furniture rearranging up in here. The hell
Well,
you mean?
well, it's crazy. Like, he would tell this story, but then you're like, do you not feel stupid as a dad telling everybody that you
That's my
basically
point.
did nothing?
All of it's crazy. All of it's crazy. I understood his anger when he started hearing Mr. Proudfoot talk about his son on live streams. That's totally understandable. But you now have given more information out, and now it's just like it's so much for people to try to digest. I think a lot of us who are woke, we're starting to wonder, what is it that Seth has not done to help preserve the livelihood of his son?
Yeah.
And it's not to be rude, but in the beginning, he could never answer a question. You ask him anything about that child, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And it's like, how is it that you don't know anything? And then you hear this stupid drama about a diaper. A person's going to say, oh, hell, you've had to know way a lot more than what the hell you're telling us.
Yep. And from what I understand, the way he described it, it's been going on for a while. Like, yeah, when you come over here.
Who you speaking of, Christopher?
No, I'm talking about, I mean, the diapers. Like, I feel like that's been going on. I mean, the way Seth, the way he, told the story that, yeah, he always had to wear the diapers. Like, it had to been going on for a while.
That don't sound, so you know how bad that sounds?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying to you. Nobody would tolerate that.
Exactly.
Nobody.
Yep.
Because I would be angry enough to say, well, he ain't going back. If he's wearing diapers at your house, something's going on, and he ain't going back. And that'd be the end of it. If she could take me to court, she could say what she won't, but you can best believe you're going to look like a fool trying to explain to a judge why a parent wants their child with them because they're wearing diapers at your house. And what you going to say?
Yeah.
Because the judge going to ask you, well, why is he wearing the diapers at 15?
Mm-hmm.
And what'll be disturbing if we find out he's been wearing them bad boys longer than 4 or 5 months.
And then on top of that, like when Seth said that, like what you said earlier, he, Sebastian didn't want to go home and, and all this. He should have talked to his son.
That's what I was saying. Yes, I agree. And see, he's not telling us what he said. This is why I don't like when he speaks. People waste their time talking to Seth, asking him questions because he doesn't elaborate. And if you're a good interviewer, you're going to ask questions. I'm not going to let you sit up here and tell me your child wore diapers, and I'm going to ask you, well, what did you say to your child? What did your child say to you? Did you go to Katie Proudfoot? Did you go to Christopher Proudfoot? What was their response? I'm not going to leave that open-ended.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave none of that open-ended. Let's talk about Robin. Do you feel like she failed the child by not confiding into Seth about what he told her?
See, I have a little bit of a different opinion on this.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Damn, Tina.
No, it's okay. So I've been in the group. I've been watching her and things that she would say, and I felt like she kind of got mixed up in the drama. And I feel like
that's what they said on the Pascal show.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, I feel like she made that up. I don't think Sebastian told her anything. I don't. I think she.
Okay, because you make yourself sound stupid telling people that, and they're gonna look at you like, "What the hell? The boy is missing."
Well, haven't they all made themselves look that way?
Yeah, but guess what? It's a whole child missing. You don't go to the public and say, I knew that the child was abused and I didn't do a damn thing.
Well, it was the way it was done. There was so much chatter, people commenting, and she was like, well, I he told me stuff. I think she got into the whole Chris and Katie hate train, and she wanted to, be, well, I know stuff too. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but if he did tell her anything, and I which I do think if I'm right, which I don't know if I'm right, but
yeah,
if she was just talking, because it wasn't just that CJ guy that was out searching, she came up to him during one of his when he's live searching or whatever, she came up to him and she goes, yeah, I knew where you were because of your, he was live. And so she came up to him, said, I just wanted to meet you or whatever, hugged him. And she said, I heard that, or they're saying, or something about Chris, pulling down flyers
Mhm.
that people and
Yeah, that's what they were talking about earlier. So do
Yeah,
you
but
believe, let's go here. Who took the flyers down, sweetheart?
well, I don't even know what's true on that. But what I was going to say, though, is when they had the next vigil or whatever, she got mad and told that other girl that was also searching with CJ that she was mad at him for filming that. And I'm like, that's how you knew where he was. He didn't film it. He just put his phone down to hug her real quick and thought that's all she was going to do. And then she blurted that out. Why did she get mad that she told him that and then it was out there? I don't know. That's why I think.
Well, I'm asking you your opinion. Who do you think took the flyers down?
If they did, well, it has to be somebody on Chris and Katie's side.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe somebody helped Christopher Proudfoot plan this crime of taking his child?
I mean, for me, that's just crazy. Unless he's got something
Well,
over your ass.
It's not really crazy, Tina, because it happened in Oklahoma.
Well, people will do crazy things, but
yes, they will. Well, I think you shy. You don't really want to tell me what you think, sweetheart. This is.
Oh, I absolutely no. It's not that.
Tell me what you think happened to the boy child. Do you believe the Proudfoots unalive their son?
This is what I think. I think that if anybody did it was Katie. The only reason I know Chris has to have some part in it, because I don't even think he would cover for her. I just don't. I don't think he's gonna. I just think he cares too much about himself to do that for her. I think she.
But aren't you doing it? Isn't he doing it now? Think about what you're saying now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he was part of this.
Intricate plan. 2 evenly yolked eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just think that they're both. Look, I think it's them two. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because
so let's role play. Let's role play. They left the steakhouse, and where did they go? The mother and the child.
Where did they? Okay, now what was that?
After they left the steakhouse, where did they go, Tina?
Well, I'm gonna assume they went home.
Are you sure?
Well, the only reason I think something happened at the house is because they seen this light on. There is proof of or something about that on the ring or a door cam or something.
Well, what does a light tell? Slow down. What does a light tell me as a spectator and I'm not inside the house? What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When you come over here to this network, I'm gonna grill you like you in that interrogation room. You hear me? That's Queen, baby. And I don't mean no harm. But what I want to help people understand is you got to think like a killer in order to know how to get away with it. So this is why I grill you all. I want you to make everything you say make sense and make it logical. I don't know what's in Katie Proudfoot's house. I don't know who's in her house. Lights flipping on and off means nothing.
That's true.
Somebody walked by the living room window. I don't know. Can I tell the height of the person? Can I say, well, it looks like somebody 5'5", 5'2"? See where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
Could it be an intricate plan? Flip on the lights, flip off the lights, because I've already got the plan in motion to say he was up rambling around doing something. Somebody came in, blah, blah, blah. Stay woke.
But I still have some kind of, those lights, even though they claim it's just this or that video with the lights, I still think there's something about that.
Oh, you talking about those lights? Yeah, that they debunked all of a sudden. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Okay, I thought you were talking about the new rumor. Somebody now's talking about doorbell cameras and somebody walking by in the living room. Have you heard that?
Yeah, that was just recently. I've heard that. But the lights, I still think that those are something to the case.
They say Seth says the dump truck lights or something.
Yeah, but also whenever that Nick guy was interviewing the sheriff or whoever, he said that, they said, no, there's not, that was something, I forgot whatever he said that was, but he said, it's nothing. And he said, okay, well then what's on there? And he said, well, I can't say what we don't know. And, he basically said, we don't know what happened, so we can't. So that is something. I do believe there's something about that video. So that's why I think he did go home.
So let's go here. You believe there's something to the lights that they downplayed and said it was the dump truck lights. Somebody made that up. Let Seth tell that. He said, oh, that was just somebody stirring up stuff. Okay, so why did they go to the landfill? How do you feel about the landfill search?
Well, I think it's something to do with those lights too. I think they
Okay.
have more than what we know.
Okay.
And that got leaked out by Nick. And there's something about those lights.
And
And
Nick,
if
who
like
was that? Who are you speaking of, sweetheart?
that guy on he's a local news guy out there, that somebody in the chat knows who I'm talking about.
Oh,
I don't
the
know
white
his
guy,
last name.
white guy with the glasses.
Yes, that
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
that
sorry,
older,
okay.
yeah. Okay. So I think there's something with those lights, and I think there has something to do with that. And I think
Okay.
if I had to guess, I think that something happened with her and Katie and him maybe had some kind of argument or something went on, and
You think there's an altercation between the child and the mother?
I think so, and that's why he didn't have shoes on. When your fear of your life or something scared you and you take off, and
So you saying you believe he ran out of the house?
that's what I think. If those lights are what they say,
Well, like somebody
look
said,
like
he is
flashlights.
old enough, as Peter Hyatt said, he's old enough to know how to get somewhere to get some help.
That is true. That is true, unless he was scared, like,
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
wouldn't I go run down to a neighbor's house, ring their doorbell?
Well, you would think that's what you would do, but maybe he was too scared. I mean, maybe
Now,
he
this is interesting. Seth says he was a runner, that he could run circles around his mother who was in the military. So he said, y'all making a big deal about 5 miles to him walking. He was a runner. So now I had to change my thought process. Okay, so now supposedly he ran out of the house and he just took off running for no reason and ran out into the wilderness for miles and then what, collapsed and died?
Well, think about your feet if you're running out there in the, you know what I mean? Like, I think your feet would be it would hurt, okay, over time of running.
So you believe he left out the house, he left out for a reason, not just to be goofing off?
Well, I don't know if he left or what. She may have been taking, those lights might be her doing something with him. I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe she put him in the like they said, there's something about the landfill. Maybe she put him somewhere because that wasn't from their house. Was it more about the construction area?
Because the landfill's in Kentucky.
Right. They said it was from the construction site, right?
Yeah, the construction site is right nearby. It's not far.
Okay. Well,
allegedly a scent hit there, but it didn't hit there. I don't know.
I don't think she would be dumb enough to put it in her own trash. I mean,
well, people have thrown kids in the garbage can. People have thrown some stupid girl and boy threw their child in the neighbor's garbage can, and the child was smelling so bad. I mentioned that story about a month and a half ago down in Memphis.
Yeah.
And they went running around asking people, did they see the little girl wander off? And what's so crazy is the people who housed her knocking on the door, the lady got a doorbell camera and she had to show the police, I didn't see no child walk out the door. I didn't see her moving around. Nobody walked by my house. Oh, she didn't walk by the house because she's been sitting in your garbage can.
Yeah.
Who does that? Put the child in the garbage can, a neighbor's bed. That's how bold they are.
Oh. Unless they really planned this whole thing, and that's why he had such a great day.
And I believe it was planned.
Yeah.
Because to me, this case reminds me of Summer Wells, the niece meeting up with them. To me, she's boy age. Bring a child along, let him have his last little bit of fun, fill his belly up, tire him out, make it seem like he was happy, he was in a good mood. People can go back and say, oh, she was a great mother. They were having fun, laughing, dining. Poof, voila, now he's gone. Don't you find that strange? A child is with their mother all damn day and then they go missing. That's bullshit.
Yeah, after having such a great day.
It's bullshit. Just like Summer Wells. All day you with your mother, then poof, you come home in the middle of the holler and now you go missing in the middle of the damn wilderness. Nah, I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
No way. Yeah,
like I said,
that's last day.
I would have believed that he was a runaway if he had
done it before.
We'll grab a phone, a bag, some shoes. I mean, usually when
something,
run away,
a video game, something.
Yeah, like
a water bottle, a soda pop.
That's what kids do. Yeah, they pack up something.
Pack a backpack.
Put some food. Take some, a bag and some shoes.
So let's go here. No shoes, no phone. What about his eyeglasses? Did he take his eyeglasses?
See, that's something I don't know. I don't recall them saying if he had his glasses or not, but I would think
it was his last meal.
It
was his last meal. They said in the chat his last meal. Was his last meal. How do you feel about the PIs being on and off? Some fell off or fired beforehand. This Chloe Heather business, Tony business. Give me the rundown, sweetheart.
Okay, so Chloe, she put where she's stepping down yesterday. Then today, I checked on there, and she is saying that the reason for what was in that group discussion or whatever, that group meeting or whatever that she had, that she had to step down, or was asked something about she didn't want to work with, or I guess work with somebody where she couldn't do her job, or she felt like if it was in fear of her job doing something illegally, is how I understood that.
Oh wow!
But,
so I wonder what she meant by that.
I didn't put. That's all.
Because he said he had a problem with them not following through with leads. He had to go check up on the leads and do their job. He said they had a role to play, and I guess they weren't doing their job. He has a way he wanted to do things, and obviously the people were not following protocol, following leads, checking up on leads. He said basically he was doing their job. I don't know.
Well, she did say today that she felt like it. She takes pride in her work and wants to do it legally.
So you think what exactly happened, ma'am, with all these people on and off, firing, stepping down? What do you think actually happened?
I kind of feel like Seth is starting to. Like he's probably not used to all this attention, and he's like, I'm the big man, I'm gonna step up.
He told her in the Pascal show, she said, I had a problem with her saying it's my investigation. He said, no, it's mine.
Yeah, he's now the professional.
Okay. I
get that it's his kid.
Yeah.
But be grateful. She was doing this for free, and she works full time and was doing this too. And this is what happened. It just seems like everybody keeps stepping down.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. The people were out of the picture before we even knew that he even had PIs. And so what happened to the other two before these two? And who leaked that call? I want to know who leaked that audio. He didn't mention that on the Pascal show. Why not? Pascal should have asked. Who leaked the audio?
What was the other private eye that, not Chloe, but the other one? I cannot think of her name now. Heather? Is that right?
Yes, two of them. That's who's public enemy number one. Everybody been cussing about.
Okay, so when she first, so she was done, that was done, and it was some time. Anyway, she said she had nothing to do with that. Nobody on her team did it. So it made it look like it had, and she said the only person outside of her team was Seth. But then on the show last night, Seth is saying, they
had to call 8 or 9 days beforehand.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Don't you find that interesting?
Unless Seth gave that, sent that audio to somebody else, and I don't know. Somebody leaked it.
Yeah, because a YouTuber had, when I watched it 2 days ago, a YouTuber said he had it for about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, well, there were several. There was other people that said that it was sent to them. It was sent to them. Yep.
So let's go here. Who sent it, and what was the purpose of getting it out?
Okay, so this is why I still kind of think it was Seth. And I'm going to also tell you, everybody was saying, oh, I don't think Seth was going to reveal what was on the CPS report. Well, let me, this is what I think. I think he was, and then his attorney
told him not to.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was
that was the whole point of going on the Pascal show. Why are you gonna go rig up a show to tell us nothing? That was pointless.
Yeah, that was, everybody said that's what the whole point of that show was. He is going to tell everybody.
They all on Facebook sending the good news out. Hey, tune in to the Pascal show. Tune into this. Tune into this. Okay, and that's the main thing people were waiting to hear once you say, oh, I got the reports. But now you're not telling us. So then you got to say, okay, well, what's on the report so bad? And then another thing that's weird, what difference is it going to make about telling us about the reports when allegedly they said that the case was closed? So what is it that you're going to reveal? Just the actual allegation?
That's what I think. Everybody was like, oh, I don't think Seth would do that. And I'm like, I think I think he's really upset about whatever's on there.
I'm curious. I think you're going to be upset if you knew you played a role in not preserving the life of your child. You knew something was wrong with the Proudfoots. You knew your child didn't want to go home. You knew your child was wearing a diaper. It's no telling what else the boy was doing that ain't nobody telling us, such as lashing out, biting, fussing. Katie told us on the news that he liked to growl. Well, what if growling led to biting, pushing, shoving, pinching? So you don't know.
Yep.
Because I ain't going to tell you nothing really, really bad that's going to make you think I killed my child because he was acting out and I lost control. See?
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody gonna say, if let's say right now you say, well, yeah, he fall out on the floor and roll over, and I have to tell him to get up, get up, get up. People gonna start saying, okay, did it make you angry when he did that? How often did he do that? Now imagine you say, oh, he did about 4 or 5 times a week. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because see, one thing leads to another. When you start talking about bad behavior, people gonna start questioning your response. Your responses. So I'm wondering if the child was combative. Because let me tell you, how much growling can one do?
Yep. Well, just what we do know, like the diapers and the way, Chris has made it very clear, crystal clear, how strict he is. And, we don't allow this and we don't, and so, I mean, I think it was a bad household. Mm-hmm.
Tina Welsh has a good point. I think Seth linked it, and I don't think Pascal was happy last night over the interview. I don't think he was either. Very good point, sweetheart. I think he wanted more.
Yeah, he was trying to get the info
report.
About the.
He wanted to get that report out.
That was the whole point of the whole interview.
And Seth was snide. He was making snide remarks, and then he'd have to shuffle him along and say, "Okay, well, let's get off of that." But he is angry. He's going to be angry because he's seen possibly a side of Mr. Proudfoot he didn't know. He possibly knew that something wasn't right at the house, but not verbatim. Not verbatim what they were doing to the kid. Yeah. Now he knows these people have been cruel to his son, and the child is missing. There's no way in his right mind he could still believe this child is alive. I don't know how in the world he could think that. Especially with that photograph being debunked. That big old mess right there. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, then also he said something about, because they said, well, I think he's asking something like, where are you searching now or something like that. And he said, we'll wait until later this week to find out some information. So that makes me think there's something about the CPS report. And I think you're right. I think he kind of knows his son's not here.
Yeah. Tina is talking about the GoFundMe, which I did touch on that earlier, Tina, before you came into the chat. And Seth buying a new motorcycle. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about the motorcycle. He already talked about the GoFundMe. They took the GoFundMe down because of, complaints and there's some bank fraud, I think, going on that he had already touched on that about 2 months ago. So I don't know anything about him buying a motorcycle. So what do you have to say about that, Tina? Tina Welsh, you're welcome to come up here if you want to tell us what you think happened with the money. Do you believe he took money out the GoFundMe to buy the motorcycle? I don't know.
I've only seen it in the Facebook, with people, the rumors,
Okay.
But I know what she's talking about.
Where did the information come from about the bicycle? Anybody in the chat knows? Penny says, Seth always telling Pascal to go to church when he was asked a question. I don't think telling how many CPS reports would have been too much information. Right. Very good point. Pascal, I don't believe probably go to church because he ain't said nothing about God in none of his conversation while he was talking for an hour and 42 minutes. He ain't going to tell Pascal nothing. And I don't know where this information is coming about a bicycle. I hope he didn't go buy the bicycle.
Gosh, boy, imagine how many people.
I told people now I can see him paying bills with his money. People donating. I didn't have a problem with people donating in the beginning because he had stopped working. So common sense would tell you he had bills to pay. But a motorcycle versus you paying your mortgage, light bill, that's a little bit different. Now, if somebody wanted to just gift him some money, then one would say, well, he can do what he want with it. You entitled to your interpretation. But I don't know anything about a motorcycle. So I don't know. Right now, he's going back to work. There is no GoFundMe. He asked his sister to close that. He told that in the Pascal show. And he's working out that other mess with the bank situation, whoever opened that account that he don't know anything about. And then they're also trying to set up a reward because Pascal asked about that. The reward should have been set up day one, in my opinion. At least by 2-3 weeks in, there should have been a reward already set up. Why there isn't one is very interesting.
Wait, Tina said that Smiley said tonight on live. Is she saying that he did for sure buy the motorcycle?
Let me see.
Because if that's true, I mean, there's already people turning
No,
against
he's telling him
that.
to go to church to get the information. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh.
Like,
Okay. I thought she was
you want to
talking
know
about
what
the
happened with my
motorcycle.
son, you better come to church. You know, it's like, you know, old black folks talk. Well, you want to know, go to church. You find out in church.
Right.
Meet me in church. That's why he was saying, are you coming down here? You say you're coming down here this, you know, for the vigil. You go to church, you can find the information. So maybe he comes to Tennessee, maybe he'll tell him. I don't know. Or it's just a joke. I don't know.
I kind of got, did you kind of get that, you know, like he said, you said you're coming this weekend, you know, for the thing on Saturday. And I kind of feel like you don't really want to go.
I don't think he wanted to go.
Yeah.
No. He wanted to do just what he did, have you up on that show and give the tea.
And he didn't do it.
Why do I need to come to Tennessee? I ain't been coming down there. Not trying to be rude, but Pascal, has he been to Tennessee?
No. He's
New Harley starting at about 17 or 20,000. Well, damn, Ellie.
That's right. He does have the Cash App. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the friend, and I talked about that too. He didn't mention that during the live stream. If his friend still has the Cash App, I frankly wouldn't have done that. I would have my own Cash App. He could have had that card sent to him within a week to his own address through Cash App. I would not have let somebody else Cash App run the Cash App for me, because that could turn into a disaster. Because that means somebody got to show you the Cash App transactions every day to show you. Understand what I'm saying? To show you what somebody's sending you. And I wouldn't have done that. Whether you trust the person or not, I just feel like money causes problems, and I would not rely on strange people to send my friend Cash App money for me. That was a bad idea, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and there's already some crazy people, like that one lady that was, you know, saying that she was came out there with her dogs and her husband, you know, and Chris told them to go, and it turned out she was a fake.
Yeah, let's talk about the dog handler. I meant to talk about that with the other ladies. I didn't know all this mess until I went over to Facebook to, you know, get the 411 a day or so ago. How do you feel about all this? I think it's sad, but this is expected, because I tell people this is what happens with true crime. Chaos breeds chaos. When you're talking about somebody missing, murdered, this is what happens. Croonies come out. Same thing with the bank fraud, or whoever trying to open up a fake account and didn't get permission from Seth. It's all the same thing. You cannot trust people. People will come out and say they're trying to help search, but they're there for the wrong reasons. People chatting in the chats and the comment boxes, you know, spreading rumors and rhetoric without a receipt. It's all the same thing. Chaos breeds chaos. You're arguing and bickering with the PIs, and they ain't doing what you want them to do, and they're saying, no, I didn't do it. See, it's just too much of attitudes, dispositions, all jumping up in one. You're going to have a problem. It's just the way it is. I've seen it firsthand in dealing with missing person cases. I can speak of 2 cases personally that I've spoke on this network that I was involved in with Summer Wells. I wasn't involved with hers directly, but I got in cahoots with somebody who was working on the Summer Wells case, and I was helping somebody that was working with them on another missing persons case, and then those 2 people end up falling out. It's just ridiculous, the behavior of the people who are supposed to be on the ground helping advocate and find missing people. You wouldn't believe how stupid these people act. And I let them both know, I don't have time for it. Count me out. I don't need you.
Well, that dog handler, that fake dog handler, it was crazy, because not only did she go on like 3 different shows and was crying and everything.
Yeah, I heard about that.
The last one on Jay, whatever, Injustice or whatever,
podcast,
actually showed her face. That is when it's really crazy. When you show your
Does she have brown hair? Does she have brown hair?
Yeah, it was the big glasses and had her hair back in a ponytail. And
I remember one lady I saw talking about something had long brown hair. I don't know which one that is. If that's one of the PIs or not, I'm getting them all mixed up now.
The blonde one is the real, you know.
I saw her picture on Facebook. But I remember seeing somebody talking on somebody's show or news broadcast with long brown hair, and I was wondering if that's the fake one.
I didn't.
Did she ever say she was in the military?
Did she? I don't think. I know her husband. She said her husband, was they lived in California. He's in the he's a police officer or something. He's in law enforcement or whatever, and he's for 45 years, but he's 60. So think about that. You do the math, and yeah.
Okay. Now y'all being mean, talking about she was crying. There's people who cried for people they didn't know. I've cried up here about Summer. I've cried, teared up over Sebastian. I don't know him.
Yeah, but she cried on all these shows in one day, like it was a little bit much.
Okay.
And it was a little much. It was to me, it was a little much. I mean, I can understand crying, but she was all these shows, she was doing this act. And then when she shows herself on camera, that to me was shocking. I mean,
what is her name, Tina?
Oh, was it Stephanie, guys?
Oh, Diaz. Yeah, I saw that name. Okay. I couldn't understand. I got to pull her up so I can see what she looked like. She looked like this person.
She went by Steph, I believe.
Stephanie Diaz. I remember the Diaz, so I remember seeing that name on Facebook. So, what's his name? Tony says they were fake pictures, I guess. Google search pictures that she was showing of the dogs. What kind of mess is that?
Yep. And then
that's just as worse as the person who took the picture of allegedly Sebastian, and they say that was AI generated. Good God. People got too much free time on their hand. When you start doing stuff like this, you need to see a psychiatrist. Because I mean, your spirit is really bad.
Well, it's really bad, like I said, because she showed her face. I'm like, I see these people, like I've even seen
people in chat. Pull her
up. She tried to be like some people that's pretending to be Chris Proudfoot in the chat. I mean, you get all these crazy people, but to show your face when you're pretending to be this fake person.
I don't care. But somebody that knows, I know the truth. See, people don't think about that when they're spinning webs. You know what I'm saying? That somebody's going to come out and tell the truth. Oh, no, that's not true. They don't do that. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They're not involved with that.
I did hear, I'm seeing where that other Tina said Tony is a felon. I've been seeing that everywhere, but I wonder what's...
A check fraud, some type of checks.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly, I don't know. See, I don't really like repeating stuff because you don't really know what's the truth or not.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope, that was it.
That you want to touch on?
Thought I would just step in and say, hey.
Well, honey, I sure appreciate it, but let me see what her name is, Diaz, because I saw them talking about her. I didn't know what all this nonsense was about. Well, they got a Stephanie Diaz as a sex therapist, and her buttocks is in the picture. I don't guess that's her. Oh my gosh. And this meta makes me sick. Young adult author, book editor living in San Diego, California. Is that her?
I think somebody was saying they're not sure if she's
TV shows,
in
chocolate,
California.
peanut butter, faraway places, writing novels at the age of 12. I don't know if that's her. Oh, yeah. It ain't showing me.
Well, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
All right. You have a good night.
You too, sweetheart. All right, everybody. That's Tina. I'm not going to hold you guys. Feel free to go back to the beginning of this live to recap. Oh, Lord. The information pertaining to that interview or whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to say this. Chaos breeds chaos. That's my opinion. This is expected with true crime. Once people start Googling your name, Googling the missing, the dead, somebody starts coming out talking about the dead, what they did, didn't do, relationships with them. That's all it takes. Co-worker talks, neighbor talks. It's the same thing you're having here. He said and she said. Then God forbid the people in the store start talking. They start spinning ugly things about the person missing, which Mr. Proudfoot has so ruthlessly done about a child who can't defend himself. That's why I know they did something to the child, because this isn't logical behavior. You want to play coy about your involvement with a child, okay, cool. I expect a suspect to do that. But when you start talking bad about a person, it's like the old saying, you don't talk ill of the dead. That's what it seems like. And even though we don't have proof that the boy's dead, but that's how it feels. Because who better to speak of than a dead person? You know, the dead can't defend themselves. As they say, a dead man tells no tales. And that's how this appears. He is not alive. So I can say these ugly things about him. I can say these children were teasing him because he was wearing a diaper, even though it could be a lie. But you're never going to find out. See, don't you all get it? These people have told different versions to different people. I want you to understand that before I leave this live stream. If information is true about the figures in the windows and lights flashing on and off, and she said something to that neighbor that morning, she has told God knows how many different versions to the police, TBI, neighbors, family members, because I'm not expecting all of you all to meet up and know what I told this person, what I told this person. That's why Candace Bly told different versions in the Summer Wells case. Why you think when she did the news interview, she told the news reporter, I don't walk around, I don't like coyotes and bears and snakes. The reporter never even asked her anything about that. She never asked you anything about no bears and coyotes. So why would you even bring it up? She never told the news reporter about being with Boy H, that she went to Kingsport and picked him up. Pay attention. I tell you what I want you to know. And I know I can spend 5, 6 different versions because I'm not expecting all these different entities to meet up to compare my versions. Hello, Tang. Long time no see. I know what I told the neighbor. She ain't getting ready to go tell the police. What I told my mama, she ain't gonna go tell the police. See where I'm going? So I can spin that version 7 different ways with whomever I want to spin it to. And that's what you need to understand about people who are involved in a crime. They rarely tell the same story the same way twice. And that's what I believe exactly happened. Because there's no way you are frantic looking for your child and you're going to sit here and tell a stranger your itinerary of what you did the night before and you're trying to find your damn child. You would be too frantic. Well, we went to a Texas Roadhouse, and then we went over here. Then I stopped and got gas. Then I came in the house. I used the bathroom, and then he put the dishes away. Then he emptied the trash, and then he went to bed. And then I heard a thud, and I talked to my husband for 3 hours. Who the hell gonna tell a stranger that? Nobody. Nobody. You all are welcome. Thank you. And she's already shown you she can't keep the story straight. Because she didn't say nothing about a thug when she first went to the news. Pay attention. That's when you know the line. I got to add something extra. Then you start telling us what the boy said. Something different than what you told the news. Because you start to forget what lies you have told. And that's what you have here with Katie and Christopher Proudfoot. I do believe they harmed their child. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And I told myself I don't like saying if a person is guilty or not because we made that mistake with that case in Georgia. The woman found in the woods, we thought her daughter and the boyfriend had hurt the mother, but law enforcement believes she set herself on fire, maybe accidentally doing something, God knows what, using drugs or something, I don't know. And she died out there in the woods. Maybe had an aneurysm, stroke. I don't know. But I know something ain't right with this couple. Now, flip side. They found the boy and they can do some type of forensics to show he was not unalive by the hands of another human. Then I have to say he walked or he ran somewhere and passed out in the elements and died. But until then, The Proudfoots look guilty as hell. That's my opinion. Because their behavior is asinine and it's cold-hearted. And I can't see anybody behaving this way that love their child and concerned about their whereabouts, because it does not appear that they are concerned. Now, Seth, I get it. He's upset at all the social media BS, but he also has to own his part of coming over to YouTube. You want to speak to the news about your child? Nothing wrong with that. But once you ventured over to YouTube, all bets are off. Because this is a dirty, dirty game up here. And everybody is not invested in your child. They're not invested in you. And that's what Seth needs to understand. This is about coins up here. Whether you care for the story or not, YouTube is a multi-million-dollar industry. It's just the way it is. And YouTube don't make no money if the creators aren't creating. Whether it's junk they're talking about, lies, it is what it is. Will he stay away from YouTube? I don't know. Because he says that's the only app he has. He's not on any other social media apps. People still sending him stuff. So the best thing he can do is just tell them, stop sending me stuff. That's the only way you can fight the devil. You don't want nobody running to you carrying a bone. Then you tell them. If you don't have anything nice to say to me pertaining to the disappearance of my son, I don't want to hear it. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't send me nothing that Christopher Proudfoot or Katie Proudfoot said on a YouTube channel. Do not send me any Facebook posts, Reddit, X. I don't care. That's how you stop that. The downfall is he likes YouTube and he ain't going to be able to go into YouTube without seeing shit on the homepage, which is going to be full of content about his son, himself and the Proudfoots and whoever else decides they want to come to YouTube and give out, certain information. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining. I do feel bad for him because in the beginning, he was the one out here looking for his child. I can't take that away from Seth Rogers. He did seem a little snide in that Pascal commentary because obviously he's got a grudge. He's mad. He's mad at the YouTubers. He's mad at some of the stuff these women have been saying up here and other YouTubers, JLR. He don't like them. Okay, but it comes with the territory. Once people start talking, once people put stuff out here, it doesn't mean it's the truth. It is what it is. And now we got all this gossip from his mother. People thinking he might have messed with Katie when Katie was underage, which is really jacked up. And that's why it's best to clarify things. Because see, you can open Pandora's box and you can't shut it. So if you or your mother or whomever opened up Pandora's box about, oh, he met Katie when she was 13, 14. Okay, people's minds start twirling. Now they're starting to think evil shit. Don't mean it's true. But somebody going to say, well, what do you mean he met her at this age? Well, what happened? How he meet her? That's why you have to think before you speak. And obviously the Proudfoots don't care. And I'm sure Katie, she's beating herself up because her Teletubby ass husband won't shut the fuck up. I know she's probably told him, please stop talking to YouTubers. They already think we killed this kid and you just won't shut up and you're talking bad about my son and diapers and stuff. Why are you doing this? She has to have said something to him. She'd be a fool if she didn't. But then too, she acts so damn goofy. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. But I know if I am watching people talk bad about me on social media, as far as being a murderer, I'm getting ready to check my husband. If I never checked him before, I'm going to check him now. Hey, you need to shut up. Because these people think I killed my kid. And you're making it worse for me. Because I got to be able to walk around I got to live somewhere. I got to live in Hendersonville. If we move cross country, I still got to live. And how are we going to live if people think we killed this kid? And what will be jacked up? They didn't kill the boy. And we have been throwing daggers at these fools because of their mangy ass behavior. And we have seen this before. Because law enforcement is right. The very people who you might think killed somebody didn't. Oh, they won't talk to the news. Why not? I thought that once. Little girl goes missing in South Carolina. Mother wouldn't talk to the news. I was pissed off. I said, oh yeah, they did something. Found out the guy down the street lured her little girl in the house, sexually assaulted her, threw her in the garbage can, and then he killed himself. So it's easy to assume. But my spirit is telling me these people know more about this boy because something is just off with the storyline. It's too convenient. And usually when shit is too convenient, it's because it is off and it's orchestrated. And that's my feeling. Lights off all around the house, but you work in security. You got security cameras inside to tell me that your child sneaks food or eats food or he go do whatever he do, but you ain't got no security outside. And you living in probably a $400,000 house. That don't even make no damn sense. Cajun Navy come to search, poof, voila, you disappear, go to Mississippi, sleep in a fucking camper with some damn dogs. Who does this? Wasn't that the purpose of getting rid of the kid if you got rid of him? So you can walk around the house and do what you want? Not be responsible? You ran out of fear, Katie Proudfoot. And let me tell you something. Your marriage is not going to last with Christopher because he can't keep a wife and a wife can't keep Christopher. So you can run to Mississippi, Arkansas, California. You are going to be a lonely Carrie White. And he going to move on and pick him another white girl with long red hair. Hell, he might go back to liking girls with dark hair. He's a whore. As we love to say, black folks, he's a horror. A Bigfoot whore. And I won't doubt he's been sleeping with other women while he's been out of town. And if it's true that he wasn't supposed to stay in that house with your kid, you should have known that marriage wasn't going to work, girl. That man ain't going to pay no mortgage and he can't stay in his own damn house if that's true. Will Seth reveal the reports? Lawyer advises him not to. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. He get mad enough, he probably will. And I find it baffling that they deflected his mother talking to social media about the boy's abuse because she has to sleep with knowing she didn't do right. And one of the commenters here on the panel says, oh, I think she made it up. Well, that's a stupid thing to do. The child is missing. Why would you want to go to social media and make it up shit? That's why you have to think before you talk. Because once you put something out there, you can't take it back. You can apologize, but people remember. And people like to take screenshots. And for you other messy ass folks out here, you all are going to have to learn the hard way. Fabricating lies, making up stuff, spreading it around, you're going to have to pay for that because karma's a bitch. This is why I don't like repeating stuff on the network. Because even if I go to your channel and I hear it myself, it doesn't mean that it's true. Because in the end, everything's a version and everything's about perception. And I don't like all that he said, she said shit. Because that's what you have right now in the Sebastian Rogers case, a bunch of gossip. And you don't have a receipt to nothing. And you can destroy a life on gossip. Just me giving my opinion up here that I think they unalive their child is bad. But that is how I feel. And as I said, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But their behavior is vile. And if you can go to social media and talk bad about an autistic child or any child, I don't have no respect for you. Because you have no right to talk about that child wearing diapers. Rumors that you're going into panels or chats pretending to be somebody else. So that lets me know you're sadistic. And that's the thing that everybody needs to understand. If you're capable of talking bad about a child, pretending to be other people, profiles, what else are you capable of? And you've already put your hands on small babies per information from Nina. And I believe her. And if you can hit a toddler, you can hit a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old. Stay woke. And I wonder if Katie ever knew about that. Did he ever tell her the truth about his relationship with Nina and why he and Nina didn't work out? And then he put his hands on her children, or she learned it through YouTube. Can you imagine finding that out on YouTube? You did what? You hit her baby. So just imagine Katie Proudfoot never knew he hit Nina's children before she ever had faith. Now you go look at this man and think about your own child. God forbid you unalived your child. You do know he abused your child. Did she sacrifice a lamb for Christopher Proudfoot? Did Christopher Proudfoot give her an ultimatum? It's either me or your son. And she chose her husband. Where is this boy child, and is he alive? I don't know. But it don't look good. I want to thank you all so much for following this network. God bless all of you. Thank you for your time. Welcome our new subs, viewers, old viewers. It's sad to be talking about a child who's 3 years shy of being an adult. And I don't know his mental capacity, if he could go out on his own and work a job or go to school or live on his own. And sadly, we may never find out the truth if he could do all those things. Rumor is he took regular courses in high school. So then you have to wonder what was his actual aptitude and his actual level of autism. And as I have said before, this really isn't about autism, this case. It's only about autism, perhaps to the mother, okay? But as for Christopher Proudfoot, he has shown allegedly abuse before he even met Katie and knew she had an autistic kid. So you separate the two boxes. Christopher was violent in the past. That has nothing to do with Katie or Sebastian. Fast forward, he meets Katie and the cycle starts again because Christopher Proudfoot never changed. So there's your problem. Not necessarily about autism. It's about a man who has a problem, a mental problem, and a mother who rode the ride, and possibly she also is defunct in her demeanor and her motherly bond. So you don't know because you don't know them. And as somebody said, for all we know, they're both jacked up. Maybe she never bonded with her child. It happens. And she was too honoring to tell Seth, I need you to come get your son. I can't do this. I would prefer that he lives with you. Just let the chips fall where they may. But some people do not want to show defeat. And that could possibly be what has happened in this dynamic of these three individuals and this child. She didn't want to show she was defeated. So she held on for dear life, but she was sinking sand until the worst happened. And I do believe it was an orchestration. I don't think he ran away. I don't think he wandered off. I think it was an orchestrated plan because I see the similarities with the Summer Wells case. All day out with the mother alone, father out of the way, allegedly. No proof of the father being away. Stay woke. Poof, voila, go home. 911, what's your emergency, please? Hell no. Father nowhere around, but he's the only one making the 911 call. Stay woke. Now, for the person that keeps commenting under my damn videos, telling me you don't see the similarities of this case in Summer Wells, then you obviously haven't followed the Summer Wells case because I'm at 13 similarities. And I don't have to name them because if you follow the story, you can count them yourself. I'm at 13 similarities. Now, if you think 13 is a low number, then you need to see a psychiatrist. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Share this content. Pray for the boy child. Pray for answers. As the father said, he's going to get answers one way or the other. So let's pray for answers. Pray for justice. And if indeed this is a criminal case, let all who knew, had knowledge, and participated, let them stand account. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $sign Beganji, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Please check out my extensive library of videos, 5,000 plus videos. Please check out my shorts. I will be uploading shorts pertaining to the information in this live stream. Just give me some time because I've got so many to make pertaining to the information. Lord have mercy. And check out my new segment called Your Crazy America. This is where I talk about outrageous behavior of Americans. And I uploaded that content yesterday to the network, or the day before, rather, because it's a new day. And you will see information about nasty DoorDash driver masturbating outside of a woman's apartment door. Guy going ham over ham because he didn't get enough ham on his sandwich at Subway. Black teacher fired for allowing his students to unbraid his hair during class. And different stories. And Steve Buscemi, the actor, punched in the face last week in New York City. That's a new part of the Vault XL. Your Crazy America. Please check it out. And movie of the week is Gossip to Die For, playing free on Tubi. You all have a wonderful week. And we'll do this again. I'm almost scared to see what the latest nonsense is going to be. But I just want everybody to know you have to stand account also for your ways and the content that you watch and the things that you talk about. Because naturally, it isn't helpful to spread rumors and lies in a story. You don't know what's the truth. But a person also has to say, am I also aiding and helping by giving people something to talk about? Because it takes two. There's an orchestrator and there's a receiver. Just saying. You all have a wonderful week. You've been listening to the Vault XL.